Welcome to the Aaron O Show. Uh, I will say afternoon edition, evening edition, whatever you prefer. But either way, you are now tuned in live to the Aaron O Show. Uh, Obviously, clearly, not my normal time, but what can I say? It's been a long day, and so we getting right to it. We getting right to it. Of course, the water gang. This bottle is low, so I have another bottle here. Don't even worry, Brittany B. We got water, tons of it. The show shall not be stopped. The show shall not be stopped. First thing first, always shout out to the sponsor of the last video, none other than Corey Love. He did his very best to try to take an opportunity and get the best out of it. It is what it is. It's YouTube, so you have to deal with what you got to do. All right. So shout out to Corey Love. Appreciate you, fam. Uh, we'll see how things go next time. We'll see how things go next time on the next show. You never know who turns up. You never know who's gonna tune in. Uh, I'll be brief. I woke up this morning a little bit mentally, drained. So, uh, is your water purified? I drink spring water, Charles, spring water. So, take that for what it is. And if I'm at your house and you have water, hopefully bottled water, I'm going to drink that. If you don't have bottled water, I'm going to drink whatever else you have. I'm going to take water over anything you offer me, typically, right? That's the goal. I dabble in a little bit of lemonade when I do attend restaurants, which doesn't happen often because I don't really like to eat out. It's not really my thing. But during that mental thing, I woke up and I said, I do not feel like going to work today, right? I said, I don't feel like going to work today, right? However, most people feel like that. Most people feel like that. So what I did was I said, don't matter what you want to do, you're going to do what you got to do. So I got up, I went to work, had a conversation with the team, and I said, just not feeling it right now. It's a lot of stuff. And, so I said, I'm going to go home a little early, right? Eh, it happens. So I'm just collecting my thoughts. That's all. Just collecting my thoughts. And so while I was collecting my thoughts, I said, I'm going to just chill, relax. I came back home. I said I'll relax a little bit. I try to put in play, how the rest of this week is going to turn out. I have some things that I have to pretty much tend to, which will conflict with other things in the future, but one step at a time. And so I've been chilling. And I just so happened to come across uh some breaking news updates. And I said, no, you can't be serious. And it is what it is. So we're just going to talk about some of the things that transpired in the news today. And we'll go from there. So shout out to Corey Love, sponsor of the last show. You're very much appreciated and very much needed here on the Aaron O Show. And shout out to Timeout. Timeout says support yum ice cream. Hey, Timeout, don't start. This ain't Fight Club. We're not doing that, okay? Once I look, you trying to get me to download. I actually downloaded TikTok. You think I'm playing? I downloaded TikTok. You think there's a game? At first, I was just on like the website part, but no. I downloaded the TikTok. I ain't playing. I downloaded the TikTok. You think it's a game? It's no game. Okay. Let's see here. I ain't playing with you. I'm not playing with you. I have the TikTok. Okay. Let me see if I can find how you get here. Right. I'm gonna have to adjust a few things. But yeah, I have my TikTok. I put it in. I'm going to figure out how to use it soon. Because the second I figure out how they making $1,000 a minute with hamburger, yum, and pizza, pizza. Oh, yeah, I'm going to quit real quick. So shout out to Timeout. Appreciate you. But you're not about to embarrass me like that. No, my beard does not connect to my mustache. Funny thing, I'm really not really into that. I used to do it on the video games. So like on the NBA 2K when I used to play a long time ago, I would create my player. You know how you have the VC money, you just put your player together. I would always make my player like 6'7", 6'8", right? I'm dreaming. That's one of my favorite songs, by the way. And I would just be tall and have a connecting beard, but it had nothing to do with my reality. Nothing to do with my reality at all. So in fantasy land, I will absolutely have a connecting beard, Brittany B, but not today. Not today, and probably not anytime soon. I'm not. If I get some James Harden money, like $150, $200 million, I will grow the connecting beard just for you. Hell, I'm gonna put out a beard oil product and everything just for you. So it is what it is. But some breaking news came about, and I said, "Oh, we gonna have to talk about this." And there's a few things that I wanted to talk about that's been in the news, and wanted to get you guys' views and thoughts on. And so I'm not gonna hold y'all up. Carlee Russell update is in. I was sitting back, relaxing, as best as I can, physically, I guess, because my mind never stops, right? And I said, something went past my feet. I said, is that Carlee Russell? I said, I ain't even covered that, but I know that that's the girl with the baby that was on the freeway. I said, and there's something about hot chips and, orange hair or something. I don't know. I heard it on the Millionaire Morning Show. I don't know what happened. Still don't have no wrench over there, so I'm not going to be in the chat until I get my wrench, Anton. I don't want to hear no excuses. Everybody else got a wrench, but I don't have a wrench, okay? Now, I'm just kidding. But I said, is this the update? Is this the update? Nas said, I haven't even followed the case. I just know. Well, you say you just know. Well, the verdict is in. There was a update today. We saw all kind of feedback from her parents. They've been on the national news. Why in the heck you don't have a wrench, Brittany? I don't know. You know me, I really don't lobby for that kind of stuff. And I'll probably have one on like an old channel. So this new channel is too small to be recognized. But we'll change that sometime 5 years in the future. But I said, I'm watching the news, and this guy is streaming. He said, hey, there's going to be an update on the Carlee Russell case. I said, update? All right, bet. I bet. So I said, no problem. No problem. It's no problem. It's no problem. I'm going to need that Shannon Sharp clip immediately. That's no problem. That's no problem. And so I was waiting. They said it was going to come in around 2 o'clock Pacific, 5 Eastern. And it took about 15 minutes for the conference to begin. And I'm going to be honest with you. I had no idea what to expect. I had no idea what to expect. Everybody was waiting for her to speak. All right. I'm waiting for her to go to the podium. Her parents ain't said nothing. I heard her boyfriend been talking some craziness, talking about leave her bees. Leave her bees in this time of need. I bet we're going to leave her be in this time of need. All right. But at some point, we're going to want to update. At some point, the truth will come out. And that's all that we ask. So, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we have got the press conference. Now, this was live about 20-something minutes ago, roughly, and this is what transpired. We're going to go right in to the update, okay? Right to the update. I'm not going to even mess around with the mess around game, all right?
Good afternoon. I'm Captain Keith Suscaleva with the Hoover Police Department. We're here today to provide an update in the Carlee Russell investigation. Chief Nick Durzis will read a prepared statement that will provide an update in this case. After reading the statement, we will have time for a few questions related to the case. Keep in mind, this is still an ongoing investigation, and there are some questions we simply cannot answer at this point. With that, I'll turn it over to Chief Durzis.
Thank you, Captain. Yes. Good afternoon.
They sent her $63,000. She got donated $63,000 on a GoFundMe, and it's not going to be refunded. Wow. I still think I can make more money with the yum, 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 yum pizza on TikTok from what I heard, but I'm not going to lie to you. $63,000 to say I saw a baby on the road. $63,000 to say I saw a baby on the road, go on vacation for 2 days, come home, be quiet, say nothing, and collect $63,000. Somebody do the math on this. How much is $63,000 divided by 24 hours? Somebody do that math. $63,000 divided by 24 hours. She probably made it in 2 days, right? Because it was a 48-hour news coverage. So 63,000 in 2 days. Man, oh man. I am in the wrong business. If they gave that woman $63,000, man, I'm quitting soon. I'm just telling you that now. I'm quitting soon. If that is true, it's going to be a problem. Man, that's crazy.
Thanks to everyone for attending again today. I want to thank the members of our department and all of law enforcement who played a role in the investigation of this case. Last Wednesday, July 19th, we held a press conference and provided you with the facts of the Carlee Russell disappearance. We told you the investigation was ongoing. We helped to determine where Carlee was during the 49 hours of her disappearance. Today, I've talked to and received a statement from Mr. Emory Anthony, attorney for Carlee Russell.
So we got an Emory Anthony as the attorney for Carlee Russell, okay? Emory Anthony as the attorney for Carlee Russell. He has a prepared statement that he sent to be read to the people. This is a statement from the attorney on behalf of Carlee Russell, okay? This is what we're going to hear. So this is going to be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God, okay? This is not necessarily a sworn statement as if she was on trial, but she is absolutely in front of the public. So lawyer, proceed and make sure you do what's in the best interest of your client.
Mr. Anthony has scheduled a meeting for Carlee to meet with investigators early this afternoon, but then I received an email stating that a statement was being provided by him on her behalf. Mr. Anthony asked that I read the statement in its entirety, which I will do now. My client has given me permission to make the following statement on her behalf. There was no kidnapping on Thursday, July 13th, 2023. No kidnapping on Thursday, July 13th, 2023. No kidnapping on Thursday, July 13th. There was no kidnapping on Thursday, July 13th, 2023. My client did not see a baby on the side of the road. 23. My client did not see a baby on the side of the road. My client did not see a baby on the side of the road. My client did not leave the Hoover area when she was identified as a missing person. My client did not have any help in this incident, but this was a single act done by herself. My client was not with anyone or any hotel with anyone during the time she was missing. My client apologizes for her actions to this community, the volunteers who were searching for her, to the Hoover Police Department and other agencies as well, as to her friends and family. We ask for your prayers for Carlee as she addresses her issues and attempts to move forward, understanding that she made a mistake in this matter. Carlee, again, ask for your forgiveness and prayers.
You could have paid me $500. Whatever you paid that attorney to say that, you could have paid me $500. And I would have went on a podium in front of all those people. And I would have said, my client did not, I repeat, did not see a baby on the side of the road. Also indicated there was also no abduction as well. We do apologize for everybody that we've impacted. This was acted all on her own, and nobody else was involved, nobody else at all. So we just ask for that you pray for us in this time of need while Miss Carlee deals with her issues. Thank you. Have a good day. And I would have collected my $500 and walked away. You telling me she spent $63,000 for that? $63,000 for that man to go on the podium to say everything, every single thing that Candace Owens already said. Every single thing that Candace Owens already said. Now, and it took us how many days to get this truth? How many days to get this truth? Oh, man. Wow. They gave, man, I'm going to look up how much that GoFundMe really was. There's no way they gave her that much money. I shout out to Rick. He says, WTF. Why? Why you lying? Oh my God. Stop effing lying. Here's the thing. Nothing's going to become of this. Tyranny, stop lying in the chat. This Tyranny, why are you saying black women don't make up stuff? This happened to her. So are you telling me this is a coerced, prepared statement by the attorney that she hired? Tyranny, you got to stop this. I'm all for you being down with the sister code. I'm all for it. 100%. Listen, there are a lot of people that lie through their teeth and their wives stand right there next to them, hold their hand while they lie to the public. But you got to stop this, Tyranny. This is a statement prepared by her lawyer where she spent $63,000+ of all that GoFundMe money for him to say about 49 words or whatever. It is what it is. She could have paid me $500. I would have did a much better job than that. I'm worried. I am extremely worried of her. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, Ricky said she's gonna get a movie deal out of this. Absolutely. She's gonna tell you that she was in desperate need. She was going through some mental stuff, and I just been in pain. My job was stressing me out. Not going to just hear the truth. I lied because I wanted attention. I lied because I knew it would work. I mentioned a baby. I mentioned the race of the baby, get more attention, all for the lies. And then you got your mom and your dad lying on TV. Now, you know black people can spot a lie a mile away. Now, you know black people, we experts at spotting lies. Candace Owens apparently is the conservative expert that y'all can't stand in y'all sisterhood, right? Shout out to Timeout says, but Aaron, she has the opposite of affluenza, so give her grace. And of course, it's black man's fault, according to Dr. Umar. Case closed. Oh, is this what Dr. Umar said? Oh, Dr. Umar, hit the cash. I'm sorry. I like Dr. Umar. He gonna come on my show one day. He gonna come on my show one day. He is absolutely gonna come on my show one day. I'm gonna get Dr. Umar, y'all. If I can get all these other people, I will absolutely get Dr. Umar one day. So I am not gonna say anything disparaging about Dr. Umar. He's a brilliant orator. The man, the way he put words together, not many people can touch him. Okay, he is well informed, well knowledge, all those good things. So I will absolutely love to have him on the show. And he can express to me the actions that need to be taken to fix the community. starting with the blaming of the leaders, which are the black men of the community, in which I guess there's not really a community, but the argument continues and continues, right? Let's go back to that press conference where that prepared statement that was reviewed by Carlee Russell herself, presented to her paid for lawyer. This is not a public defender, okay? Paid for a lawyer. Many, many days to prepare, okay? This is not 5 minutes before. This is many, many days to prepare for this statement, knowing that you possibly were dishonest, right? Because I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of women should throw her away. I know what y'all thinking. No, we can't throw nobody in the community away. We ain't got enough people. Well, if she make y'all look bad, if she ain't upholding the standards and the honor that y'all move with, y'all might have to. Y'all might have to throw her away. But I know you're not going to do it. I know you're not going to throw her away because why? Because she part of the sisterhood and the white man made her do it and all this good stuff. But I'm going to just tell y'all the truth. That lawyer right there, paid him good well. Paid that lawyer is well paid. Can you take some questions, Mr. Lawyer? Can you take a few questions?
We have a meeting scheduled with Mr. Anthony to further discuss this case. We're currently in discussions with the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office in Bessemer about possible criminal charges related to this case, and we will announce those charges when and if they are filed.
Nah, player. Don't fix your glasses now. Don't lead with that. You just said we have a meeting with her after she's confessed to basically this is on a federal level, disrupting all of society, everybody's house. Everybody knows about what's going on. You telling me if and when you file charges, you'll later discuss this. Why is there an if? You know, whenever somebody does a crime, right? You know what y'all say? No, give me the big screen. Y'all know what y'all say whenever somebody does a crime? This is what y'all say. MS Best is not about him being the lawyer. I'm just messing around. This is what they say. He's actually just reading the statement. I know he's not the lawyer. This is what they say. You commit a crime in our county, in our city, we gonna get you. We gonna come after you and we gonna lock you up. They don't say if and when we file charges when they know you commit a crime. When do they do that? Oh, okay, Valerie, you're right. Just forgive her. Sure. Why not? You already did. You absolutely already did. I have no problem with you. I have no problem with you forgiving her. I don't have any malice or hatred towards her. She is a human being. She is a flawed human being. However, when you're wrong, you should deal with the consequences. If the answer to everything is just forgive them, I will accept that. If we can just forgive stuff, deal. Ladies, gentlemen, the men accept your offer to just be forgiving. We accept your offer. We will forgive if that's what you want to do. But she broke the law. She wasted all your time. She got y'all lying to people. Y'all stand up people talk about, no, like they always do this to black women. They always act like we don't tell the truth. They don't care about us. So y'all stand up for that and y'all defend the wrong thing. If y'all want to be righteous, you can't defend this stuff. This is not right. All because she want attention and y'all support this stuff. Now, here's the difference between me and everybody else. I didn't immediately cover this. You know why? One, because one thing that I've been doing when it comes to the news specifically is I understand a 24-hour news cycle. And I've been really, really patient with it because I said I'm not going to attack it immediately. No, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for more things to come out, right? Now, we still got to wait a few more days because they got to meet with her to discuss with her why she broke the law. They're going to discuss with her why she broke the law. When anybody else that broke the law, they get on there and say, we're going to find you, we're going to prosecute you. But with her, it's if. And if and maybe we decide to press charges. And y'all going to defend this stuff and blame us for not supporting it.
All right, with that, we'll take a few questions. As Officer Hale said, when I call on you, please state your name and your affiliation. Yes, sir.
Keith Mims, WAGG 610 100.1 FM Summit Media. Chief, do we at this time, or does the Hoover Police Department know the whereabouts of Carlee Russell during that 49-hour period that she was supposedly missing?
Now, as I said the other day, was talking facts and everything. If I said anything today, would just be speculation. Actual facts, we do not.
Aaron Lula, WBC 13. Can you tell us what her motivation was for doing this, if you can?
I wish I could tell you. I think only Carlee knows, and maybe her attorney now. But again, the statement that we received from him does not indicate any.
Brittany WBRC, can you give us an idea of what charges you may be filing against her?
That would strictly be up to the district attorney's office.
David Lamb, CBS 42.
Scheduled with the attorney, and that will take place some point tomorrow.
And there is no meeting with Carlee Russell or her family at this point.
Not scheduled, no, sir.
Bria Chapman with Fox 6. What's next to close this investigation?
Well, again, we want to talk to Mr. Anthony tomorrow and see if he has any more to discuss about the case. We'll certainly be asking if we'll get an opportunity to again interview Carlee like we've wanted to since she returned.
Chief Stephen Quinn, ABC 3340.
Yes, sir.
Your reaction now, knowing that Carlee has admitted that this was made up?
Well, I'm glad that we got this. You know, we certainly laid the facts out to you guys and to the national media that had a lot of interest in this particular case. The sad thing is that again, there were so many people that were involved, took this thing very, very seriously, and again, we wanted the focus to be bringing her home. She got home. We're very excited about that.
She was never lost to her own, by her own indication, there was no abduction. She was never lost. She was never lost. So why are you so excited to bring somebody home that was never lost? Man. All right, I got you, Sway. I actually really think that he did a good job. He didn't say too much. He's not speculating overly. He's just been honest. He's being very diplomatic. I'm not sure what type of politician he is, but obviously, look, just be honest. Can we just be honest? That is a really nice suit he got on. Look at the tie. It's a very nice suit. I like the tie. Look at him. Smooth brother. So shout out to him. I'm hopeful they get another interview with her while she's waiting at home. I'm not sure where she's waiting at. I'm sure she's eating some hot Cheetos because hot Cheetos has been voted the #1 potato chip, probably all of America. So I'm sure y'all know y'all like those hot Cheetos. And I'm sure she has some of those as well. I can't say I'm mad because if we're going to just forgive her, let's tell somebody else to do this. Let's tell somebody else to do this too, right? If we're going to forgive, why not somebody else do this? I don't see a reason why they should stop. So if you can make $60-something thousand in about 48 hours, I don't see why anybody else should stop and not lie like her. It's actually a genius idea. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm happy this is behind us for the most part. I'm pretty happy that Candace Owens is being, for the most part, vindicated because y'all tend to dislike that woman a lot. But what does Candace Owens not do? She tends to not lie. She tends to acknowledge if mistakes are made. She tends to call things the way she sees it. She pretty much stands up and goes against the popular opinion. Okay. And it is what it is. She was one of the very first to step on this particular story because one thing about women that I love about women is that y'all know women. Y'all know when women lying. Y'all know the truth. Oh, she lying. Was she lying? Y'all know there can be a such thing as, I know y'all think men manipulate the women all the time, and y'all ain't never seen a woman manipulate a man. But there are some lovely ladies that will tell you, you know she's trying to trick you, right? What you mean she's trying to trick me? Yeah, she lying. A word? Yeah. So ladies, if y'all don't stand up and hold these women accountable for these lies, nobody will. Then y'all gonna get mad at me because we gotta allow her to tell the truth about how she lying. Now we don't know if to believe she a liar or a truth teller. Is she lying about the fact that she telling the truth, or is she telling the truth because she lied? Either way, we don't know. Most importantly is this. They ain't never gonna believe her again. And see, y'all got mad at everybody else and y'all said this, but there's real stories. Why y'all paying attention? Why y'all paying attention to this negative story when there's real people in trouble? Well, I don't know, because y'all told us to believe her. Y'all don't remember? Y'all said, hey, believe her. This is the problem with y'all. Y'all never believe us. So then y'all get mad and say, oh, it was just a hoax, but don't worry about it. Pay attention to the real issues. Okay. I don't know how we can do that. I don't know how we can pay attention to the real issues and believe her at the same time when she lied. This is the problem with y'all. Y'all never take accountability for nothing. This is how sad and pathetic she is. Because I'm not sure how old this young lady is. I'm hoping she's really, really young so we can say that her brain hasn't fully developed. So she don't really know what's right from wrong. But she don't even have the courage, right, to stand up in front of the podium and say what she did wrong. She's hiding behind somebody else, right? Nobody gets respect for that. Nobody gets respect for lying and sending somebody else out there to tell the world that you lied. That's on you. If you did this by yourself, if nobody else was involved, right? You want to protect your parents, protect your boyfriend. I don't know. I heard he broke up with you. I don't know. That's not my business. If you want to protect all these people, the least you could do, since you want to cry on a 911 call and you're crying out for help, right? And you a liar, an admitted liar. And I just did a show. Y'all remember about Bip City, right? How I go down in the town, how I go down in the city, right? Their 911 response in Oakland, California is almost 2.5 times the national average. Most response times is about somewhere between 12 to 18 seconds. In Oakland, it's about 58 seconds, and there's more data coming out to where it's even longer than that. And if you're lucky, you'll be able to get on call with an actual responder. That's how bad it is. And she wasted resources, time, energy, effort. Got Tyranny blowing up my chat talking about she's not lying. While her own lawyer, not the guy at the podium, her own lawyer wrote up. He just read what was right. The full statement he was told to read. And you're saying she's still not lying. Okay, fine. Fine. She's not lying then. Until she stands up on the podium, until her Twitter account, because I'm sure she got a Twitter account with probably 50,000 followers by now, right? Let me see here. Aaron, stop slandering Carlee's name. You didn't hear what they said in the, you know what? Let me go back. You didn't hear it, huh? You didn't hear it, huh? I'll play it again. Because maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm tripping because I'm slandering, huh?
For attending again today of this case of the Carlee Russell disappearance. We told you the investigation was ongoing. We helped you determine where Carlee was during the 49 hours of her disappearance. Today I've talked to and received a statement from Mr. Emery Anthony, attorney for Carlee Russell.
Just for you, Tyranny, Mr. Emery Anthony, statement provided, attorney for Miss Carlee Russell. That is what's stated by law enforcement, elected officials, people that are in charge of this investigation. Not me. People are in charge of this investigation. This is what that statement gave to them by her hired attorney. It ain't me. This is what was said in her statement, read in full.
Mr. Anthony has scheduled a meeting for Carlee to meet with investigators early this afternoon, but then I received an email stating that a statement was being provided by him on her behalf. Mr. Anthony asked that I read the statement in its entirety, which I will do now.
Thank you. In its entirety, please.
My client has given me permission to make the following statement on her behalf. There was no kidnapping on Thursday, July 13th. There was no kidnapping on Thursday, July 13th. There was no kidnapping on Thursday, July 13th, 2023.
Okay.
My client did not see a baby on the side of the road.
No baby.
My client did not leave the Hoover area when she was identified as a missing person. My client did not have any help in this incident, but this was a single act done by herself. My client was not with anyone or any hotel with anyone during the time she was missing. My client apologizes for her actions to this community, the volunteers who were searching for her, to the Hoover Police Department and other agencies as well, as to her friends and family. We ask for your prayers for Carlee as she addresses her issues.
As she addresses her issues. Where's my slandering? Where's my slander? How am I slandering her good name? This is her hired attorney reading a prepared statement on her hired attorney prepared a statement sent to the officials that are essentially handling the case. This has nothing to do with my opinion. This has nothing to do with my opinion. Tyranny says nobody searched for her. Nobody searched for her. Do you know how abduction cases work? You might be unfamiliar. I'm not going to even do it. You do know the FBI gets involved in this stuff, right? This is not just a city and state matter. When it comes to these type of things, the FBI gets involved. You may be unaware of that, but that's exactly how it works. This is not my opinion. These are the elected officials, people handling the case, her attorney, and a prepared statement. Not my opinion. Not my opinion. So whatever you think that I'm doing to slander her good name, you are wrong. I am not doing that. It's not me. I'm not doing that at all. It's not my problem. It's not my fault. I did not do a thing to her. You may think I did, but I assure you I did no such thing. So respect to you, but you are wrong. You are 100% wrong. And I'm not even going to debate on you with that any longer. I'm going to get through the rest of the statement, and it's only a few minutes.
Bring her home. She got home. We're very excited about that. It is what it is. The facts, I think, last Wednesday pretty much showed that we knew that it was a hoax. Please.
Lisa Crane with WBTM 13. Do you know the expense you went to during this search? And if you don't have a dollar figure for us, just how big it was for you guys?
Well, it was all hands on deck.
Just during this search. With WBTM 13, do you know the expense you went to during this search?
Now, if I'm not mistaken, call me not the brightest guy, there's a question being presented to the man on the podium, right? Here's the question. Do you know the cost that was spent during this search? During this search, which Tyranny said nobody searched for her. Do you know the expenses spent for this search? He says all hands on deck. That's what he said. I don't even know if he gave a number yet.
And if you don't have a dollar figure for us, just how big it was for you guys.
Well, it was all hands on deck, and we don't have a dollar figure yet, but we're certainly working towards getting one, and not only ours, but there'll be other agencies that had a lot of support that they gave us and had monetary expenses themselves.
Jonathan, when JLR investigates, are the parents under any investigation?
As I said the other day, we were going to try to determine exactly those 49 hours. So right now, anything's on the table. We still don't know what happened to those 49 hours, where she was. Did she have any help? We have no idea. I read the statement from Mr. Anthony. That's all we know.
Keith Mims, WAGG 16, Summit Media. Chief, let me ask you this. What do you think prompted or provoked Carlee to do this kind of thing? And are there any kind of mental issues that the police department or the public should be concerned about, or just what?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, it's, this is this was elaborate deal. I mean, when you talk about calling a 911 and being up on the interstate, again, it would all be conjecture. So really, I don't know. I was hoping that we'd have an opportunity to interview and we'd be able to ask her those questions.
Were any others involved in putting this story together for her?
Mr. Anthony, in his statement, says there was not.
Liviana Calmes, WBRC, Fox 6 News. You said that you had a meeting scheduled and it kind of switched into a statement. Did they give any type of reason that switched?
No, they did not.
Back here.
Yeah, so essentially, right? There was a meeting scheduled and then it got switched to a statement. Any reason for that switch? Coward. Coward. That's my guess. That's my humble guess. You're probably a coward. Why not? Anybody can be a coward, right? Not just men, right? Anybody can be a coward, right? She's a coward. She clearly knows the difference from right and wrong. She clearly knows the difference from the truth and a lie. She said, I lied. None of this stuff happened, which is in direct confliction with her initial statement. So when you retract a statement, basically indicating you misled us, you either misspoke, whatever words you want to use to be diplomatic, so you don't try to, so you can make yourself look like a victim. Because we got people in the chat right now. I'm gonna call you a coward. People in the chat can say, oh, you don't know what she's going through and all this type of stuff. But when they send her $60,000+, none of y'all was complaining about nothing there, huh? If somebody sends me $63,000 for covering this, what would you call me? Oh, Aaron, you're a grifter. They sent you $63,000 for covering this story. They sent her $63,000 for lying, and y'all have no problem with that. And then not only do you have no problem with that, right? Anybody else gets in trouble. Anybody else does stuff like this. Let it be a man specifically, right? Lock him up. Lock him up. Jesse Smollett, at the end of the day, at least he got beat up. At least he punched himself, all right? At least he tried to put some damage on his eye. At least he tried to make it look good, right? He at least tried. He hired professional actors. He did everything he could to pull this off. He said, look here, I'm going to get these really big Nigerian guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to write the script because I'm a director. And I'm an actor. So he did a whole bunch of work to try to perfect it, right? So at least he went all out. At least he went all out, okay? Now, he's part of a protected community, and he's still going to jail. Nobody got hurt. Nobody got hurt. All he did was waste resources. All he did was make a national scene, a whole issue, and waste resources. And you know what they said? That's against the law to do that, Mr. Smollett. Are you a man? I reckons I am a man. Jail time. Jail time. We're not going back and forth. You're going to jail. Valerie, I'm not overly familiar with you, but welcome to the Aaron O Show. I will drop the link if you want to come up. Do you really want to come up? Because you don't want to talk about her? I don't know that man's name. As far as I know, he ain't commit no crime. As far as I know, he didn't call 911 and take away resources from somebody else. When we know there are people dying every single minute. There are situations happening every single minute. There are limited resources, limited officers, limited federal agents, limited. People like you that don't want to do this job, right? And you want to talk about a guy that's lying to his girlfriend. Well, I hate to tell Valerie, I hate to tell you. Listen, Valerie, I hate to tell you. If you're concerned about this national story about talking about her boyfriend because you mad, look. Man. Look at PH Doofus, right? Valerie, they will attack you. Don't join the panel. Nobody else has to be on a panel but me. I don't have to attack anybody. So you're absolutely wrong. At any time, anybody can request a one-on-one. It's not a problem. Ain't no problem. Ain't no problem. Ain't no problem. But the issue is they not prepared for that. They not prepared for that. She want to talk about a man lying to his girlfriend. I don't care. I absolutely do not care if a man lies to his girlfriend. That's between them. Now, if he calls 911, and says, hey, by the way, I'm lying to my girlfriend. Can you please, how can I say this? Can you please, I can't even think of a scenario where it would make sense for me to worry about talking about him. I can't. I see what y'all saying. Give me 1 second. I got to pull up. I'll pull up the link. Give me 1 second, guys. I don't know why I don't know why she thinks this is smart, but it ain't. But I will send you the link. The link is only for one lady only. The lady that wants to talk about her boyfriend. So please hit the link and tell us why we should discuss her boyfriend. This gonna be good, y'all. I can't wait for this. I dropped the link for her, by the way, y'all. I'll let y'all know when she pulls up. One moment, guys. One moment. Because she's in the back. Give me 1 second here. Hey, Valerie.
Hey, Aaron.
Now, I know you're not gonna cam up, so I'm gonna give you the ability to have anonymity, okay? Because I know there's a level of fear that stands on being on camera, have to stand behind your words, right? So I'm gonna be kind to you. Please tell me why you're pretty much going off in the chat about why we should be discussing her lying boyfriend.
Oh, no. I'm not going off on the chat. I was just encouraging the chat. I'm just saying, we shouldn't go so hard on her. Like, we should just give her another chance. There's many of people that's out here doing that, but it just seems like, I don't know, for Black people, we know that she lied. I know she lied. I wanted to believe her, but I'm just saying, like, let's not go so hard on her. Let's look at her like our sister. You know what I mean? If this was your sister and she lied, would you want people to keep going after your sister and harassing her and all that stuff?
You may be very unfamiliar with me.
I see you on that show. No, I see you on that show. What are you talking about?
So what do you think I would do?
Well, because you're a guy, you don't have
Yes.
emotions. So
I have tons of emotions.
Yeah, you would throw her in the trash like you're trying to do.
So tell me how somebody being responsible for their actions and paying a penalty for that is throwing her in the trash. She should go in the trash because she's a pretty trash person. But outside of that, how is people wanting her to be accountable for her actions a negative thing? Valerie, you there? I'm sorry, guys. We must have lost touch with Valerie. It is what it is. Essentially, her whole point is, I swear, man, y'all, every chance y'all get, y'all find a way how this is a man's fault. I'm so mad her audio don't work right now. She didn't rage quit. Something happened with her audio. I think she had some things in the background. I think there was some kid, like some commotion in the background. So it is what it is. Respect for her for coming up, though. I don't know if she thinks she did a really good job at expressing her point. I'm going to be very clear and frank. She deserves to be prosecuted for her actions. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about Black women specifically, because that's what she want to talk about, needing to be protected from doing the wrong things. Now, here's my thing. Once she served her time for her crime, we will take her back with open arms. You know why? Because Black people are the very most forgiving people on the planet. Nobody forgives more than we do. Nobody. So if she do her time, I don't give a damn if it's 30 days in prison. I don't care. Jail, whatever you want to call it. 29 days, 27 days, 11 days, 22 days. Jail. Some level of culpability. As a matter of fact, I don't even really care if you give her a fine. Add up the charges, that the amount of energy spent to do these type of things. And you know what happens? Let me tell you something. One thing that people know is if there's a punishment behind a crime, it does deter some people, not all. There's a deterrent for some people. And I believe, just like some of y'all believe, that y'all probably wouldn't do this. I'm guessing y'all wouldn't go while y'all driving in y'all car and say, you know what, I'm mad at some guy potentially, and so I'm going to lie and make up a scene so that I can win him back or whatever the case is, right? So if y'all don't want people doing that, if you want Black women to be respected, trusted, and honorable, you can't promote people who are not doing those actions. You cannot promote those people that are not doing those actions. It's a really, really bad idea. Okay? Guys, I believe Valerie is back. I believe potentially her audio has been fixed. I will pull her back up so that she can explain once again why she believes that we should be discussing the boyfriend. Hi, Valerie.
Okay, hi. Sorry about that. My phone died. I was rushing, but okay. So let's pick back up. So what I was just saying is that we really don't know 100%. We don't know her mental, and we don't know what she's really dealing with her family. So we're just looking at it like, oh my gosh, she lied. She had people looking for her. But we really don't know what's going on with her. And I was saying, if people are going to go after her boyfriend too, because he made a statement saying she was fighting for her life, and he was telling people to stop bothering her and stuff like that. So
let me tell you one. Okay.
London, 1 second.
Okay, take your second. I'll just speak. And
Okay,
if you
London, take that back in there.
And I'll
can't
mute
hear.
you just for your
Okay.
own protection, because if you're talking to your family, I don't want any names implemented.
London, turn that down. Okay, sorry,
Good?
my child.
Yes.
But
London.
you know,
Shout out to London.
she's 25. She's
25 years old.
Right.
So-
What were you doing at 25?
So, well, I wasn't on national television lying to people and committing crimes at 25. I can tell you that. That's one. And secondly, you said give her grace. You said we should open our arms to her sister. So now let me ask you this. If that's the case, if her boyfriend believed her, right? Because like you said, we assuming a bunch of things. Let's do some more assuming. Let me assume I'm her man. And she told me all this stuff is happening to her. Well, if I believe her, like you telling me we should and give her grace, why then do you want to punish the guy for doing the exact thing you're telling us to do?
Okay. My thing is, do you really believe that when she went home, she didn't tell her mom the truth? Do you really believe that?
Yes, I believe she probably lied to her parents too.
Okay. Because I believe when she went home,
Valerie, is it uncommon for children to lie to their parents?
Right. It is.
That's a common thing for people to lie to their parents. Wouldn't you agree?
Please stop, baby girl. Yes.
So I'll ask you again. Why do you want to discuss the boyfriend and him potentially lying? Although since you want to assume he's probably was just protecting her because he believed her. And I do believe at some point she told them the truth. I just don't think it's when she first came home.
Yeah. So you don't believe that he should have went to the internet also and cleared up his story instead of deleting his post?
So two things, right? If I went on the internet right now and I said, hey, my girlfriend's a liar, Who cares? If I don't call 911, if I don't call any law enforcement officials to make that statement, all I'm doing is being another human being that's crying on the internet. That's no problem. That ain't no problem. That ain't no problem. So what? Why then do you equate his actions being equivalent to her actions? They are not the same.
Because I believe he knew and he lied also. That's just my opinion.
Once again, even if he did lie, which I don't care, he did not call law enforcement. He did not call anybody else, especially to commit a crime. Lying, just to lie, is not a crime. You may lie whenever you want. You're coming on here right now, and you possibly have lied many, many times in your life, and you're probably going to lie some more, right? No problem. Don't call 911 and break the law. And then when you do that, say, I'm going to go on the Aaron O show, and I'm going to talk about the people around me who supported my lies. Do you see the big distinction? You don't want to talk about her. You want to talk about the man who we do or do not know if he was complicit in keeping her story to be a lie or true. She could have lied to him as well. Don't you agree?
Right. Well, I think her parents were lying also because immediately they got an attorney. So in all actuality, they were all lying. So why are we only talking about one lying girl? We know they were all lying. That's just my thing.
Valerie, with all due respect, you are anonymous, by the way. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking? Nobody knows you.
35.
You're 35 years old. Okay. I'm going to explain this very simply again. She broke the law. Nobody else did. She called law enforcement. Her mom didn't do that. Her boyfriend didn't do that. She did it. She lied, said, I saw a baby. And apparently, according to her lawyer that she hired on behalf of her, sent a statement to the team that is covering the case and recanted and said, no, there was no baby. There was no baby with the diaper on. No, that didn't happen. I wasn't even that. None of that stuff happened. I was not abducted, kidding. None of that. She did. That's her statement by her lawyer. What does that have to do with anybody else? Because in that same statement, read in its entirety, it said nobody else was implementing this. I did this on my own. Please tell me if you understood that, unless you're saying that that statement is false and a lie. Unless that's your argument, why don't you understand? Well, we're not talking about nobody else but her.
That statement did not seem true to me because how is she even going to get anywhere? She's in the woods. How is she even going to get anywhere or even take a chance like that by herself in the woods? Late at night, you really think she did that by herself? Like, nah. Ain't no way.
You're probably right. She probably did it with somebody else. But once again, see,
but they're telling us that she didn't, so that's a lie.
So let me just ask you. You believe that law enforcement is going on national television concocting a story about how this lady, who is nobody, is, and they're lying on her for the sake of what? What do they gain by going on national television, getting the FBI involved, implicating child abduction, all this type of stuff? Why would they do that?
I really don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know why they would do it, but I'm just going to be honest. The story still doesn't make sense. Even with them saying she's lying, it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry. I still believe something happened to her. Maybe not kidnapped, but something's there. I don't see this girl just up getting, oh, I'm about to call and say I'm missing. Like the average person, they don't do that. And why does she have to be missing to go somewhere? She's 25. She had a nice car. She was working, like, I don't see why she have to act like she's like kidnapped to go hang out or do what she wants to do. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't.
Oh my Lord. I'm just gonna tell you now. Thank you for coming on the show, but Miss, you've been booted off the show. I don't know. I've tried to discuss with you as fair as I can, but I'm not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Shout out to the people. I'm not gonna even pull that up on my phone right now. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to be fair with this woman, right? I'm allowing her to hide behind a V symbol, right? While I'm present, known, whatever the case is, can get canceled, all this stuff, which is common, right? I'm hearing her out. You know me, I don't call people names and things like that. It's not important to me. And when I give her the facts, when I give her the truth, when I tell you that even if you don't like liars, we can walk down the street right now. Me and you, Valerie, we can walk outside holding hands, la, 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 and go point out liars everywhere. Lying is not illegal. What she did was against the law. Why do you want to blame her man for her breaking the law? This stuff is scary. This stuff is scary. Cheeky Banner's right. I don't know how this living together, single, in separate homes is going to work, but we might have to get that. Vandy Royal, no, the people don't want to hear her speak no more. I'm sorry. Let me see here. Yeah, I'm done. I'm going to tell you this now. Yeah. We'll come back to that later. Man, why do we do this? Why do you feel the need to defend her? Gary Grant says, ladies, women want to give excuse for women who lie, shame, and these people in 25-year-old grown, not a child or little girl, should go to jail. I agree, 100%. 100%. She's 25 years old, according to y'all. Her brain is fully developed. She's 25, not 24. I'm not getting this back and forth stupid argument with y'all with this brain development because this is the 24 years old. Your brain is developed. Go to jail. She broke the law. She should go to jail. I don't know why women feel the need to defend her. I don't see no men in the chat talking about, yeah, she broke the law. She committed a crime, but let it go. You know why? Because every single day, men have to deal with consequences for their actions. I have to deal with consequences for my actions. I have to deal with people saying things about me that are not true, people cutting up things, spinning narratives, that I have to deal with, because if I put myself in my picture, out on the internet, I have to deal with the consequences. So if I got to deal with the consequences and I'm not even breaking the law, the least she could do for implementing child abduction in this. Do you understand how there's an implication that most people have this desire to protect children? It's innate in us, okay? There's a desire to protect children. There's a desire in it. And it's what people do as human beings. It's what protectors, parents, etc., other human beings naturally protect the children. Everybody understands that. So when we hear that somebody was kidnapped, let's just say a 30-year-old woman, we feel bad. We think it's wrong. We're concerned naturally, as normal human beings just naturally are. We understand life happens. But when you tell us the same situation happened and it's a child, a 5-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 3-year-old, I'm sorry, we care a little bit more. There's something in us as humans, I don't know what to call it, that makes us a little more concerned for a 5-year-old than we are for a 30-year-old, right or wrong. But that's the truth. And she implemented, a child was involved with her lie. So is it beyond belief for us to believe that if she just lied about just her actions, we'd be less angry? But when you implement a child that's endangered with all the stuff that's going on, and I got a ton of stories. I got a ton of stories that I could play right now about the type of stuff that's happening to children. And I highlight things all the time on my show, especially when it comes to young boys, right? Because obviously that's resonation that exists with me as a man, right? But there are a lot of young girls that a lot of things are happening to, okay? We have to start highlighting those things. We have to start bringing more attention to those things, right? And that's going to be the goal, right? as hard as it's going to be, because some of these stories are painful. When you sit up here and want to protect a liar like her who implements a child to be involved in her story and puts the whole national media, you don't understand, right? There was a time when children, all ages, would just roam around the neighborhoods, get lost around the neighborhoods, and they would go, "What you doing over here? Where your mom? That's Susie's baby. Okay, let me take you home." And they would take her home. Nothing would happen. And somewhere in the 90s, the Amber Alert came, and everything changed about how we parent children. And so I apologize if you don't understand why there's a heightened level of accountability that needs to be put on this woman, because she decided to lie and implement somebody else's story. If I commit a crime, right, and I go solo dolo, it is what it is. I didn't destroy nobody else's life but mine. But if I bring a bunch of people with me and say, "Get in the car, hey, pull up, hey, let's go commit crimes together," I have just put other people's lives in danger, et cetera, et cetera. Imagine if I say bring a 5-year-old or a 9-year-old or a 12-year-old, say, "Yeah, let me put y'all lives in danger too." Most people are going to find that to be way worse than putting a 30-year-old who has their own choice, who's an adult, to make the decision to come and do stupid stuff with me. So she implemented a baby was there that heightens our awareness, okay? That's all that you have to understand. So I'm sorry. I don't care that her boyfriend lied. I do not care. Sorry, guys. I apologize for the rant. Shout out to L. Nixon, the voice of reason, says the internet is a dangerous place. Be safe, people. Yeah, I know. I agree 100%. And it's getting worse because everybody's a freaking every single body. Newtown says women like her want empathy for Carlee because they could see themselves doing the same crazy things. I've explained this many times before. I actually do this all the time with friends that I have, right? People I'm close with. I tell a story. I make an implication about women intentionally. And their response every single time is, "But I'm not like that," or "I wouldn't do that." And it's always a selfish desire because they think it's all about them. They don't know how to take their individuality from a conversation and have it because they're so tied to what they're selfish, man. And they see other women as them. This is why Tyranny's going off in the chat. Drop the link so I can come up here and cake for her and lie for her and all this stuff and tell how black women need to be seen as a victim when they're wrong. You know who the victim is? Candace Owens. That's who the victim is. That's the black woman that y'all attack, who's married, who's taking care of her family, who's calling out the wrong things, who's trying to have a good image, who's trying to do the right things. Y'all can't stand women like her, and y'all want to protect the liars. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do it. It's one thing to lie on YouTube. It's one thing to lie on the internet. It's another thing when you lie about children. It's another thing when you lie to the freaking federal government, the FBI, the city, the state, and all those things, and get all those resources involved. I apologize. I'm sorry, but she's a liar and she broke the law. Now, I'm not saying that she needs to do life in prison for this. No, but there should be a consequence to deter their action. And I'm sorry, I'm big on accountability. If I do a crime, I'm going to do the time. Oh, man, I can't believe this stuff. I can't believe she really came up here. Her first time on my show, she came up here to blame a man, to implicate a man for something a woman did. I can't believe you just did that. Man, I can't believe it. Dap, shout out to Dap. He says there was a press conference and she just admitted that she wasn't kidnapped. So stop about it. I just played it, Dap. I literally played it at the beginning of the stream. I literally played it. She knows that. I replayed it again because Tyranny going off in the chat talk about that's not true. The white man this and the white man that. Here it goes. Shout out to Deborah. She says it's white supremacy and racism. Of course. Of course. Of course. The baby was white, wasn't it? The baby was right, wasn't it? Shout out to Team Fatty. Shout out to Team Fatty. He just came through with the 100 ball. Shout out to Team Fatty. Shout out to Team Fatty. He says, Team Fatty says for the I have to send the money back Flora fund. No, sorry, Team Fatty. That's a whole nother show. You can't do nothing for Flora over here, my friend. I can't help you. Flora is oh man. Did you no? I'm not even indulging with that right now, bro. You wild crazy. Lauren says your patience is remarkable. Honestly, no, I'm really just trying to hear her out because I know that there are a lot of opinionated women that want to come on the show. Here we go. Oh man, you can't be serious. Shout out to timeout. But Aaron, the brain isn't fully developed at 25. The age is now 30. Give her grace. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You know what? I'm going to slightly adjust around my show. You know what? One-on-one. I'm going to drop the link for any woman, specifically women, because I know no man wants to come and argue a side about this. But for some reason, Tyranny wants to explain why we are wrong. So I'm going to allow Tyranny to speak her mind and tell me why this is wrong. So Tyranny, I will drop the link because you asked for it. Now, maybe you, because you are at this point a content creator, you're more comfortable on screen than Valerie was, right? So maybe you will be more calm and prepared to explain how I am so off on this, how I'm just making all this stuff up and I'm just wrong. Because at this point, I don't understand why we even have this conversation about these lies. I'm all about having a conversation. So it's not an issue with me, but at the end of the day, I just don't know why. I just don't know why y'all do this. Y'all will never see guys defending stuff like this. Like, sure, yeah, he cheated on his girl. They might, it ain't against the law though, man. All this for this lady and she a liar? That's crazy. All this for a lady and she's a liar. I can't freaking believe this, man. All this for a liar. Lies, man. Shout out to Jim. He said, Aaron, remember she left her wig and ate Cheez-Its. I was going to leave that part of the story out. I wasn't even going to bring up the fact that she was eating Cheez-Its. And here's the sad part. Valerie really believes, and this is what Valerie really believes, she was really in the forest. Valerie really believed she was stuck in the forest because she said it. How's she going to do all this by herself and she's stuck in the forest? You really believe she was stuck in the forest. What type of shrooms was she on? Because is it okay if I come up, Vanny Rue? You can come up on the show. I don't know if you want to come up on and explain to me why you think I'm off, but don't come up here just to tell me that you agree. Because I don't want to have a discussion with people that agree with me because I'm expecting most people to agree. But that link is specifically for Tyranny because she's been running up and down, raging in the chat, talking about we got this all wrong. And I don't understand why she thinks we're confused. When I played the audio, I played the visuals, I played exactly what, regardless of what we think about people, the system, whatever you want, there is literally the people covering the case. This is national news. This is not conjecture. All right. I'm not making nothing up. I'm not putting my own opinions off on nothing. I'm responding to the facts in the case. And they think this is about tearing somebody down because they're wrong. Yeah, you tear somebody down that's doing the right thing, that's wrong. But we talking about a liar that implemented children in her lives. They got the FBI involved, lied for multiple days, got her family to go on TV, scared, all this type of stuff, to come back and be a coward. To come back and be a coward and to sit here and hide behind the fact that she's a black woman, so the system is against her and we should have her back even when she's wrong. I'm going to tell you like this. You can't, and this is why I keep telling you, you cannot ask for a righteous man. You cannot ask for an honorable man when all y'all want to do is hang with the dishonesty and the non-honorable stuff. I just don't understand why the desire for that. I just don't. And it's different when it's breaking the laws, okay? It's one thing to have our opinion about what the law should be, okay? It's one thing about having our opinion about what the laws are, what we agree, whether you should drink, whether you should be able to drive, whether you should be able to rent a car, whatever y'all want. It's another thing. You know what? I just need more water. See, nothing can make me go crazy when I got water. DJ Neff said, "Ayo, why do you?" I love black women. Love them. I love them. Tons of black women will acknowledge it. If you telling me I have to love on the people that are liars, no, I'm big on character. You may have not noticed that, but there's a reason for my consistency. I'm big on character. I'm big on honor. I'm big on that stuff. I'm not saying you have to be a flawless human being. I'm not saying that when she do her time or she pay her fine. Listen, add up all the resources that was spent. Give her two options. Deborah says, breaking news. The brain not fully developed till 55. I agree. I get it. At the end of the day, I'm telling y'all, I'm only in my 30s. My brain is not fully developed. Okay. So don't expect me to have a level of patience, have a level of respect, have a level of discipline. Don't have no expectations of men to stop cheating on y'all until they get to 55. Our brains are not developed. They're not developed. So at the end of the day, I keep trying to tell y'all there's a level of character you must conduct yourself with. And I'm not going to be nice just because she's a woman. She's not my woman. And I'm probably going to be worse on my girl than I would be on any random woman. And it would suck because I would have to tell her, you probably going to jail for this. You probably going to go to jail for this. Now, I'll pay for your lawyer, get you a lawyer, but you're going to go to jail possibly. And so here's the thing. Either you lie and continue to lie, that's on you. Or when you admit the truth, you stand on the podium and acknowledge, I was wrong. You don't hide behind the cameras. You don't hide behind an avatar. You don't hide behind your attorneys when you do stuff like this, because if it was anybody else, we call them a coward. If it's anybody else, we say you're a coward. And that's just the truth, all right? So she's a coward at this point, based upon all the factual evidence that's presented to the people that we have elected to run our systems, to run our departments, okay? So we have to go by the rules, all right? Not about our opinions, not about how we feel the truth, all right? Shout out to Lindsay. Now, I'm going to shift off of this for now, because at this point, if I see another woman that come up here defending her, it's going to be a problem. If another woman come up here and talk about, I need to defend this woman, it's going to be a problem. A huge problem. So right now, I'm not even in the, don't do it. Don't hit that. Do not hit that link expecting me to be kind. Okay? Do not hit that link expecting me to be kind if you're going to come up here and do anything but acknowledge the facts and the truth. You come up here talking about these people were hired by the Man in Black, by Disney Channel, and they just up there, they fake people. These are fake papers. She didn't write them. I'm telling you now, it's going to be a problem. All right. Now, I'm going to slightly shift around my show. She's 25, by the way. Slightly shift around my show. Okay. Now, Valerie, I hope you're still in the chat. Okay. I want to talk about, oh, you know what? I don't even want to talk about that. That's too sad, and I don't want to deal with that right now. This is what I want to deal with. Right now. Tyranny, no, Nino, don't make it that happen, bro. I'm trying to chill. Somebody says she's actually 27. Right? JJ says, Aaron, do an hour of NPC. Bro, I'm just studying what NPC is. I'm just now finding out what NPC is. And listen, I already told y'all. I got my what's it called? My TikTok. So it's a good chance. That I'm definitely going to be able to make $5,000 in the hour. And it's a good chance. Yum. That's up next. Now, if there are anybody, let me just, before we move on, are there any other women? Okay, because I ain't about to argue with a guy about this. Because if a man come up here and he arguing about this, it's gonna hurt my heart. It's gonna hurt my heart if a man comes up here arguing about honor, dishonesty, truth, cowardice, and all that. If a woman does, at least she looks at the world from a different perspective. I can kind of deal. But no, gentlemen, don't hurt my heart. Do not hurt my heart. Now let's get to this next part of the show. Lord, this right here, okay? I want you guys to listen to this.
Afternoon, I'm Steve Noviello. We start with that trial. The man convicted in the 2021 shooting at his Arlington High School begged the jury for leniency in the sentencing phase. Timothy Simpkins took the witness stand this morning to testify in his own defense before both sides rested this morning. Last week, the Tarrant County jury convicted Simpkins of 3 counts of attempted capital murder in the shooting at Timberview High School in the Mansfield ISD.
So just to bring you guys up to speed. So this young man, I believe his name, I had it listed somewhere. It'll come up again in the video. But this young man was convicted of basically a school situation in which people were injured, a teacher was injured, and he was convicted for it. He wanted to take the stand and he wanted to beg for leniency. This is where we're currently at. That's not Empress Carmen. That's not YNL Melly. No, this is a different gentleman and it's a different point, right? He was involved in a altercation, because I'm being selective with my verbiage, right? Because I want to actually get through a stream without people cursing on my stream, without curse words, all these type of words, every single time flagging all my shows because people don't know how to monitor their language, right? And because I have that ability, it's better that I run the show by myself, okay? And I will deal with people on a limited basis going forward. Logic said the Texas, absolutely, that was a Texas use. And this is the part I want you guys to hear about it, because when I saw it, it's a very powerful moment while he's on the stand. So I want you guys to see this, and I want your thoughts and your insights.
Simpkins faces up to life in prison.
I understand what I did was wrong. Very, very wrong. And I'm sorry. I truly am sorry. I just asked for another chance. Probation, max probation.
Prosecutors say Simpkins has a history of violence. In September 2021, he met someone at an Arlington gas station, let them into his car, but was then robbed and pistol whipped by that person. The state said the video played in court last week shows Simpkins shooting at the escaping car at least 8 times. Prosecutors displayed several texts Simpkins had with another person about that shooting. A text that read, quote, "We got to shoot him first. Let them know." We have removed the expletive that he included. We are continuing to live stream that testimony. You can see it right now, fox4news.com.
The key in that story was he basically is facing life, right? This is important. Capital attempted, right? It says attempted. I do not believe anybody actually lost their life. I don't believe anyone actually lost their life in this situation, but there was an attempt, 3 counts, capital attempt, right? Now, he is currently 19 years old. When the situation happened, I believe I read he was 17. Okay? 17. To my understanding, that would make him still a minor. Now, I know that this is a black man. How is thou feel about leniency now? How is thou feel about giving grace now? Valerie, I'd love to hear your opinion on this. Valerie, can you hit the link? Let me drop the link in the chat for Valerie. The link is dropped in the chat specifically for Valerie. I would love to hear what your opinion is about this young man's fate and what you think should happen. Because I'm sure that your love for Black people doesn't just stop at a Black woman. I'm going to guess that you love Black men also, and that this is your brother and he is in a tough situation. And so I'm going to presume that you're going to come on my show again and you're about to, I don't know, tell me how not asking for anything but life in prison is too much. I'm interested in knowing, Valerie, what your thoughts is on that. And if you do not care because it is a man instead of a woman, I respect that as well. No, she's not going to come up for that. Fair enough. I can't say I was expecting her to. If I get back on talking about women again, I guess that might change. I'm concerned because there was a level of remorse. I'm concerned because I'm torn. The fact that every time we have these debates, these arguments, these conversations, the age of adult brains come into the picture. Now, as far as I know, he's 19 years old. Shooting happened when he was 17. He's asking the court for grace. Please do not. This is capital, by the way, attempted capital. Don't you think he should get out? Now, let me paint the picture. Your child goes to this high school. Your son is the teacher at this high school, and one of your children is one of the students that was impacted, right? Now, you may not know, but a situation like this, when you are defenseless, it really alters your life forever. There's no change. There's no involvement. There's no adjustment to this, right? One moment, guys. Jay Prince, what are you doing here? I asked for women. Now, you are not a woman.
Well, bitch. I'm a woman today, bitch. What's going on, man? I wanna touch on that topic. I'll wait till you call everybody else up.
Okay, brother. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll pull you up later. I'm heavily torn with this because my worry is that this young man who has a level of remorse, who's willing to get on the stand, who is very, very young. I want to hear those same excuses in the chat. There's mental, all these stuff. I think it's important that we be consistent. But what I find out is that when a young man's life, his freedom, all these things are at risk, boy, the level of remorse is out the window. I got men in the chat right now talking about lock him up, throw away the key. Not even a split second to think about 60 years gone. That we don't never want to give it back to him. And we going back and forth every single day. Oh, the brain's not developed. But for some reason, if it comes to impacting life, we don't give a damn if your brain's developed. We don't care. It's very difficult. It's very, very difficult to have these conversations because I do not know what the right answer is. I do not know. I do not know if we lock them up forever. I do believe a penalty must be paid. A penalty must be paid. I do not disagree. But I don't know what that penalty is anymore because this stuff is really difficult. Case after case. I got so many stories, y'all. So many stories. Antonio knows what it's like to be locked up. Shout out to my guy. And he knows, man, Antonio said give him 10 years, right? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Let me see here. I think Tyranny said she's here. And I think I'm going to subject myself to this somehow, some way. I work really hard for this stuff, by the way, guys. This stuff is not easy. And I don't know. He put a lot of people's lives at risk. But he has a level of remorse. After I just saw the YNW Melly case, I just saw another guy that was laughing at the judge and said, give me life, and he laughed. You know, if he had popcorn, he'd eat the popcorn in the judge's face. I know y'all don't necessarily believe that in a moment of, I don't know what to call it, I won't say weakness, but in a moment to where you don't have, shout out to We Unlock. We Unlock says, how old is he? He's 19 now, but I'm pretty sure he was arrested when he was 17. Let me see if I can get you the actual name and case. One moment, sir. One moment, if I can get you the actual name and case, because I believe I might can. Yeah. I have to get his name. Hold on. Let me get his name. I had his name on another page, but I got so many freaking pages up. I can't remember.
I'm Steve Novillo. We start with that 3 counts of attempted capital murder in the shooting at Timberview High School in the Mansfield ISD. Simkin faces up to life in prison.
I understand what I did.
Simkin. Yeah, his name is Simkin. Simkin. Let me see if I can get it. Hold on one second. Timothy Simpkins. Here we go. I'm going to drop a link in the chat for the people that want to pull up information on that case. The link is in the chat. Miss Tyranny.
Mr. Aaron, I would first like to say, niggas in the chat, let me talk. Don't come up here trying to kick me off. Let me talk. Let me talk. Okay? Hold your money for your McDonald's you're going to buy tomorrow and let me talk. Okay? Hashtag protect black women. Hashtag black women lives matter. No. Okay, Aaron, you want to ask a question or you want me to start my statement?
You can start with your statement because this
All right.
will be interesting.
Let me make a couple of statements, okay? Thanks, GBG. Let me rock. For one, you cannot call Amber Alert on yourself, right? Somebody had to do that for her, okay? Secondly, you have to be gone for at least 2 days to even do an Amber Alert. She was gone for 2 days and came back. Yes, well, in Texas. I don't know how it is everywhere else. But in Texas, you have to be gone for 48 hours before they can call Amber Alert.
Not when it involves children. What are you talking about?
What do you mean not when it involves children?
When
She's not no child.
But there's an implication that there's a child walking on the side of the road.
No, that child's parents didn't call for her. Her parents called for her. So, what the fuck?
Guys, sometimes, guys, you got to just let them talk. I know that you... Listen, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe an Amber Alert can't go off for 48 hours. Can somebody in the chat please update me and let me know if Tyranny is correct and I'm wrong? Because I can be, and I'm willing to acknowledge that I am wrong. But I do not believe it takes 48 hours for an Amber Alert to go out, especially when it involves children. So if Mr. Logic, that's my big dog, I know he's in the chat, and he's somebody that I can lean into for this type of stuff because he's well informed. If I am wrong, I will acknowledge it. But last time I checked, for an Amber Alert to go out when a child is involved does not take 48 hours. So if anybody in the chat kindly would like to acknowledge it, and Tyranny can see the chat, she can see it. And we gonna allow her to acknowledge, one, that she's wrong, right? We're gonna allow her, one, to acknowledge that she's wrong. She don't know what she's talking about when it comes to Amber Alert. So try again, but let's go on your premise, but leave out the Amber Alert part, because now you know when there's children implicated, that's a whole nother story. Go ahead.
Okay, but we're not talking about a child, right? We're talking about an adult. Okay, so her parents are the one that called Amber Alert on her. Okay, right? She didn't call. She didn't say kidnap. Actually, kidnap was not even in the title. It was abducted. It was abducted. Okay, there's a difference between being trafficked and abducted. And I know that you guys, because you're in LA, sir, right? Am I wrong? You're in LA? You just give me a.
I'm in the Bay, but close
Okay.
enough.
I know y'all see some weird shit out there. I know y'all do. There's been lots, just hear me out. There's been lots of sightings lately. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's on you. There's been lots of sightings lately. There's been numerous. And Joe Biden spoke about this recently, about the 3 sightings he's seen and cannot explain where these sightings came from. He said it's not the China spy balloon project. Okay, it's not China. It's nothing that they know. These are objects that they noticed that they didn't know where they come from. Okay, the girl was not kidnapped. She was abducted. Okay, the girl said that she called, hold on. She called her brother's girlfriend. She called her sister-in-law. This is what the report said. She called her sister-in-law and said, girl, I see some boy in the street. It ain't no, the police didn't even describe what she described the boy to look like. So that's what Miss Valerie was saying. There's missing information. Okay. It didn't give into detail what she saw. They just gave a general statement that it was a man that came and got. Now, hold on. Y'all want to talk about her wig and first the fuck off. If you're going to go see some man that you like, why would you leave your wig? You buy a wig to go see your man, not a wig to leave in a car to go see him. Also, it stated her personal belongings were missing. I mean, not missing, excuse me. They found it. They found her personal belongings and they found her cell phone. All the same thing. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Wait. I checked. Don't try to take it off the screen. What does it say?
I read very quickly. What it says is, I checked in my state and that Amber Alert can go out immediately. That's what it says.
It can, but states.
JJ Carver says Bama's Amber Alert is based on a case-by-case basis and can be activated immediately based of specific criteria. Once she said a toddler, it's automatically because of a child is under 17.
She didn't call for no missing child. That's not what she did. She didn't call for the missing child. The person that you guys are accusing of lying on the Amber Alert is Miss Carlee. Somebody called Amber Alert on Miss Carlee. Okay? Am I wrong?
No one said that she called an Amber Alert. She called the law enforcement police to let them know there was a child endangered because that child was unsupervised at night on the side of the road. Now, one thing you have to do is you have to take the information that you have and you have to operate with it. If you tell me, a person who's not in law enforcement, but I got some people in my chat who are, if you call any officer and say, hey, it's 10:45 at night, I'm on the freeway and I see a child alone in the dark by themselves, anybody in their right mind is going to assume that that child is lost, right?
Okay.
Right? So there's an indication that there is a lost child, right? Now, when you make an implication that there is a child involved, an endangered child who's helpless, etc., everybody that is a human being, forget whatever it is the law is even at that point. It's to find that child and protect that child. I believe you think that as well. Wouldn't you agree?
Sure.
Yes, I'm assuming that's the case. So when there's an implication that there is a child on the side of the road, she parked her car, got out, put the blinkers on, for whatever, or the hazard lights on. She then disappears. They get to the scene. No child is there.
And neither is she.
It's within reason, right? Because you have to go by the information that you're given to assume she must have been abducted, kidnapped, etc., and that child may have been also. Are you saying it's not within reason?
I'm saying this is not based off of assumption, Aaron. Oh, this is based off of someone actually called and said, my daughter, Carlee Russell, is missing, or my sister-in-law or my sister is missing. You guys are trying to say she was lying about being missing. Okay. So again, somebody called and said that she's missing. Now, like I stated, afterwards, it was some general statement about a man took her and he said that he was with a woman. Now, I don't like the way that they use the word a man. Oh, the article?
Who made the statement? You said a general statement. Who made it?
They stated, hold on, this is her describing to her parents and the cops. When her parents
this is Carlee Russell after she returned home to then tell what happened. This is what you said?
Yes. Yes, that's exactly what she said.
And she made a general statement that there was some random people, right? What was the general statement?
No, she didn't make the general statement. The police report gave a general statement. She most likely explained exactly what happened. But because they didn't want to freak out the public, they gave a general statement. They dumbed down what actually happened to this girl. How many of us black women in the chat, and I know, how many of us is going to actually say, I done got abducted by some aliens? Girl, I got abducted. First off, how many of us is even going to say the word I got abducted? None of us.
Are you telling me that this is beyond the shadow of a doubt or belief that women lie?
What? How did you get back there? How did you get
Because you said what person in there? Women lie all the time.
Not about being abducted.
Sure. This ain't that shocking?
No. Yes, it's shocking that a black woman would say she got abducted.
No, it ain't.
Hold on, I gotta get my child another snack. Give me one.
That's fair. Go take your time. Go ahead. It's more than fair for me to believe a woman would lie for attention, for any reason. That ain't shocking me at all. I don't care if it's a black woman. It could have been any woman. They lie all the time. They have attention problem. We all know that. So I don't have a problem with your disagreement, but here's the thing. 48 hours. She made a statement about what happened. Now, I don't know. Maybe they made up that she was in the woods, right? I would say the jungle because that's more funnier, but she was literally in the woods and Jesus was involved and that's how, and then they dropped her off at home. But you believe in that. That's your argument.
Okay, I'm gonna be straight up. This is what I believe. This is what I know.
Okay, this is what you know.
This is what I know. The aliens is here. Okay, now I know y'all gonna start laughing. I don't give a. The aliens are here. These niggas are taking over, and people are seeing them. People are seeing them. Y'all just seen a report not too long ago where the Mexican boy said that the aliens was in his backyard. You know, UFOs, unidentified things not from over here. Okay. So this girl said abducted. Abducted is literally connected to being taken by something that is not of this planet. That's what abducted is.
Let me look
now, she just happened. I don't know if she escaped, like she said. Maybe they let her go. Whatever it is. Aaron, she came home in 2 days. Why would she lie for 2 days? What's the point in that? What's the point in lying for 2 days?
I don't know. Let me make sure that the information that you providing to the people that are watching the Aaron O show is as accurate as can be.
Yes.
So let me look up this word that you said. Abducted means aliens, right? So
no, not so much as aliens, but it's different than kidnap.
Let me read what it says. To seize and take away a person by force.
Okay.
The girl was abducted by kidnappers. That literally debunks your statement right now. Both words are used.
Keep reading. No.
Read more. You want to read more? Okay, we'll read more for the sake of you. All right. Go ahead and read it. Feel free. Go ahead and read it.
Okay. Number 2, to draw or spread away a part of the body, such as limb or the fingers, from a position near or parallel to the median axis of the body or from axis of a limb. So now per that, it's saying that, my body was abducted, which meant torn apart from limb to limb, right? So why would they use the word abducted versus kidnapped? I'm just saying, y'all got to read between the lines, man. The devil's always in the details. And then she said he came out of a tree. Okay, but she was parked on the side, so it was trees over there. But I'm pretty sure it's a lot. And why she not speaking, Aaron? Huh? Why she not giving her own side of the story?
She's a coward. That's why.
If she was a coward, this story would have not even made news.
You don't think cowards make it on the news all the time?
No, I don't. No, I don't, Aaron. Not in this way. And she's not even speaking. Like, Miss Carlee Russell, if you're listening, hit me up. I would love to interview you because I believe you, girl. I believe you. Okay, the extraterrestrials are here.
Okay, Tierney. All right. Thank you for coming on the show. I'll talk to you later. We got to move on with the show. Sorry, guys. I tried. I did my very best, but no. No, we're not doing this. Lord, I cannot believe this stuff. Defend all black women is the argument at this point. We're going to get back to the show. Maybe we will allow people up after, but I'm not doing this right now. So continuing on with this young man, 17 years old, capital. I do not know what his punishment should be. I do not know what should happen to this young man. I do believe there is a level of remorse that exists with him that is not commonly shown with situations like this. I think there should be some level of care. I think this is a very difficult conversation for us to have because he is a young man that we often don't tend to care about. Shout out to Tia. She says, if a child is wandering down the highway, would they be considered missing or just going for a walk? Oh, they definitely they definitely just going for a walk. 5 football fields of a walk. 5 football fields of a walk is what she's trying to indicate, okay? Shout out to Chris J. Says, believe all women is officially dead. Yes. No, it still works for women. Girl code is strong. Tyranny, you're one of them. Chicken nuggets for breakfast for her kids. I don't know what that means, but shout out to Insane One. It's been a minute. What else, Spence? I see you, bro. Yeah, it's disheartening, right? But this young man is what I want to talk about right now briefly before we get to the rest of the show. I actually hear a level
in the
of
shooting at Timberview High School in the Mansfield
I hear a level
ISD.
of remorse
Simpkin
from
faces
him.
up to life in prison.
I put the link in the chat if you guys want to look up the
I understand what I did was wrong. Very, very wrong. And I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. I just asked for another chance. Probation, max probation.
Prosecutors say Simpkins has a history of violence. In September 2021, he met someone at an Arlington gas station, let them into his car, but was then robbed and pistol whipped by that person. The state said the video played in court last week shows Simpkins shooting at the escaping car at least 8 times. Prosecutors displayed several texts Simpkins had with another person about that shooting. A text that read, quote, "We got to shoot him first. Let them know." We have removed the expletive that he included.
See, the confusing part about that statement is that someone jumped into his car and he protected his persons by returning fire because they was trying to rob him. Now, either that was incorrectly reported or the information is slightly incorrect because they're saying he has a history of violence, right? I don't hear the violence if someone jumped into his car, tried to rob him, and then he returned fire. That's what was said in the report. Maybe it was incorrectly reported, and it's the opposite. He jumped into somebody else's car. But if it's the reverse, then he wouldn't be really the violent person. He would be someone that's on the defense. So that need to be corrected. But I'm not sure. He said, please give me maximum parole or something like that because he does feel remorse for his situation. He was 17 during that particular case. He's 19 now, and he has been convicted. Sentencing will be shortly. See Through You says, what case is this? I will send you the link, See Through You, so you can briefly look it over. It is about a young man that attempted 3 capital deletions, and he was not successful. I don't know why he did it or things like that, but I do hear his remorse on the stance. He took the stand. He didn't be quiet. He went up there to acknowledge that he was wrong, and he's really young. And is there a level of grace for this young black male, or is it throw away the key? That's for you guys to decide, because when we just go with the Carlee Russell situation, a whole bunch of black women want to come up here and discuss how we should blame black men or blame her boyfriend or blame everybody else but the coward herself. When it comes to this young black man, I don't know how y'all feel about him. I'm a little bit torn, right? Because I'm very, very big on accountability. I'm very, 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 very big on a man being accountable for his actions, even though he was technically a child at that time, or not essentially a child, but you guys are very up and down with what a child is, but he was definitely a minor, right? And so I will revisit that case again, but I just want to put that thought into you guys' mind while we're being so graceful and things like that. But when it comes to a young black man, because y'all always talking about how women don't have a level of, and let me tell you, women cry victim all the time, and it works all the time. All the time. No grace when it comes to the men. And so please don't expect a level of grace when you guys do some of the most ridiculous things. So let me get to the other part. I want to get to this aspect. You know what? I shouldn't even bring this case up. I want to get to the Stephen A. talks about Desantis real quick. DJ Neff, that's not YNL Melly, bro. That's not YNL Melly discussing that. That's a different case from Texas about a high school altercation. It's not the same. Like I said, it's interesting how you guys decide what a fully developed brain is, and if you should get life in prison without a fully developed brain. This is why it's so hard having conversations with y'all, because y'all so inconsistent. Oh, her brain's not developed. Oh, his brain's not developed. Life. Boy, y'all something else. But I will continue to do this so you guys can see. I have another video that I probably was going to get into depending on the time, but I think I'm going to save that for a later time because I'm going to be honest with you. It is a disheartening video. And I don't know if you guys really think you want to hear about this video, but it's not a very nice video. And so I think I'm going to bypass the video unless you guys want me to go over the video. And I'll give you guys about 30 seconds. So if you want me to go over the video, you put a 1 in the chat. If you want me to move on to the Stephen A. Desantis conversation, I will move on to that. You can put a 2 in the chat for Stephen A. You can put a 1 in the chat if you want to hear about this other situation. It's your choice. I don't know why you guys asked for that. I pre-warn y'all that it's not very nice, and y'all still want to do it. I am a man of the people, though, even if y'all crazy. Shout out to Justin D. He says, many countries don't have life sentences because men typically grow out of violence as testosterone level lessens. I think our country is too harsh overall. I don't know what the proper... let me see. I got a couple 2s in there. Got a couple 1s. I believe I have slightly more 1s than 2s. I'll say this, Justin. I believe we don't have it right. But I don't know what the truth is. I don't know what the proper level is, because how do you tell a parent who lost their child that somebody else gets to be free. Because we're so brought up in the American way, the American justice system, and we criminalize people the most, more than any other country. I understand that. But I don't know what the alternative is. I just know when it comes to young men, our lives are being destroyed at the highest rates, and there's no compassion, there's no grace, nothing when it comes to the men. When it comes to the women, grace everywhere. Grace everywhere. So I don't know what the proper level of punishment can be for this young man, but it's capital. It's attempted capital murder. It's not just attempted murder. It's capital. So it makes a difference. It's in Texas. So I will revisit that conversation soon, because I'm sure sentencing will be real soon. And JJ says, grace them bars. He can have grace behind bars. I hear you, bro. I hear you. I don't know what the right answer is, though. I do not. And I will play this next video for y'all because y'all asked for it, even though I warned you not to watch it. I warned you not to make me play it, but you decided to make me do it, so I will. I don't know why, but this is the type of stuff y'all make me do. I wish I don't know this stuff, honestly. I wish I did not know this type of stuff happened. Here we go.
Sophia Okita, a child swap turned deadly. Now a mother is dead and a newborn baby hurt. This happened last night on Ojaman Road and Manire Drive in the Spring Branch area. KPRC Chief Sabir Rayford is live there with why investigators are calling this a possible murder-suicide. Sabira.
Sophia, the mother was found dead here in this parking lot. A few hours later, just a block away, a man was also found dead. Now, Houston police say this all happened around 11 last night. The mother showed up here to pick up her 2-year-old son. She had her new boyfriend and a friend with a 16-day-old baby in the car when there was a verbal altercation. They say during the fight, the father of the 2-year-old who lives at this apartment complex pulled out a gun and shot the mother of his child. Glass shards from the shooting injuring the 16-day-old baby. HPD says the mother of the 2-year-old died at the scene and the father took off.
Just about a block down the road, we had canine come out to do a general search of the area for additional evidence, and we actually located a deceased male, Hispanic male. At this point, we believe he may be the suspect in our original homicide down the road.
Police say the 2-year-old was not injured and he is being cared for by other family members. Reporting live, Sabir Rayford, KPRC 2 News.
Guys, being a content creator, bringing up conversation is extremely stressful. Never have I ever seen this level continuously. I got so many videos of similar things like this. It's sad. Everywhere, all across the country, everywhere. This stuff is happening every single day. And now when you see this stuff is happening so often, the visuals are there. Now forget that you just know the data, right? Because when you visually see something, it changes everything. Right? It's something you can't unsee, right? It's like you're walking in on your girl and your best friend with your girl, whatever the case is, right? Some of y'all get your feelings hurt. You can't unsee it, though. The fact that people can't co-parent, the fact that it's these situations, the fact that women don't want children anymore, they don't want to be mothers no more, the community don't exist for them no more, women are... all these things are just like, is it really a good idea anymore? It brings a lot of mixed thoughts about actually bringing children in this world when you can't protect them. There's another video that I have that I'm not going to play today because I'm not going to be able to stomach it, to be honest with you, because it's really, really bad. It's really, really bad. And I'm not going to play it because I already dealt with enough nonsense today. And I'm not going to be able to properly assess it. with just controlled emotions, right? The fact that she went there to pick up her child and they got into an argument, it's clear that they broken up and they were living together. She moved out. It's clear they weren't getting along. But this child swapping thing and children, parents not living in the same home and stuff, this stuff is very, very difficult. It sucks. It sucks knowing that that 2-year-old lost both their parents in probably an hour. People don't realize just how fast your life can change. I was talking to Fatty the other day. We were on a fight club and we were having a conversation and he said, man, what happened to us? What happened to me? I showed him an old video. I showed a bunch of old videos, right? And he was like, man, that's not even me. Who is that guy? And that's less than probably a year ago. I'm telling you, your life and everything can change in a minute. 5 minutes, your whole life can go down the drain. That young boy that was 17, he just threw his whole life away. JJ Carver is very analytical, right? He's a super nerd, right? And I love nerds, and I really, really like JJ. I like his perspective. I like the fact that if somebody says something completely wrong, he will put the facts in the chat, and I don't even have to ask him. I know my people. And he is so emotionless and so just computerized with his brain. He's like, lock him up, throw away the key, you get mercy when I'm dead. Like, I don't know. I don't know how we can care for kids and then they not be kids. And we know that we can mess up in 5 minutes and they get to mess up in 5 minutes. We don't each have the same 5 minutes, but this child, 2 years old, mom gone, dad gone in a matter of an hour. This world is, I don't even feel the most comfortable when I go out, right? Not afraid naturally of anybody, but I know there's dangers that exist, right? If I know there's dangers for me, man, what can we tell these kids? They not safe nowhere. They not safe, man, at the daycare. They not safe with their own parents. They not safe with uncles. They not safe with nobody. I don't know what the solution is at this point. I do not know what the solution is at this point. But we'll continue to have these conversations. We're going to continue to raise awareness. We're going to continue to highlight these things because I think they don't get enough awareness. I'm just be honest with y'all. Antonio, I put the link in the chat of that particular situation. I will drop the link again. You can utilize that link to look up more information on the case. I do not know the specifics of what made it capital. It's Texas. So I'm not from Texas. I'm from California. If it was a case in California, I would be able to figure out more because I understand our laws a little bit better. So it's Texas. I have some Texas people in here. They can give you more insight, but I'm sorry. I do not know why it was considered capital attempted. And I'm going to guess because there was children involved, minors, people under the age, and there was an attempt on them. It's probably heightened the case. I don't know. But man, let's get into the Stephen A. conversation with Governor Desantis, because I do want to cover that briefly because I do think it's interesting. And I'm going to move on from these other cases right now because they are extremely something else. Drop that. And I don't even remember what the timestamp is. I do not care. But let's get to it. As a matter of fact, guys, give me a second. Give me 1 second. I'm back. I do not pop Xannies. I don't do drugs. Everybody knows that. Actually, I wanted to get this stream in early because I want to make sure I catch Q's show today. I want to make sure I have enough time to watch the show. Normally, I'm streaming at the same time as them, and so I don't be able to watch the stream. So I'm going to watch it today. Hopefully. You never know what's going to happen. All right? Whew. We see through you. Yes, it is a drug. Let's stop doing that. Let's get to it. I don't have the time step, so we're going to grind. That's what we do. This here is Stephen A. Smith. He is what you guys know as a sports anchor, or he pretty much is known for his sports takes and things like that. Okay, a lot of these people are starting to navigate into more controversial topics outside of what they're known for. So, like, if you look at Anthony O'Neill, he comes from the Dave Ramsey house, but he wants to talk about relationships. So a lot of people are navigating over to this space, and you're starting to see more people talk about politics that isn't their main thing and all this type of stuff. So Stephen A. has been pretty outspoken. And so I just want to cover a little bit of what he said as far as his breakdown on what was said by Governor Desantis. All right, let's get to it.
Back to Ron DeSantis. It's made news for a lot of reasons. Primarily because he is a governor of Florida that was deemed to be incredibly popular, winning re-election by over 19%. He is the presidential candidate that, if it were not for Trump, he would be the front runner. But because Donald Trump has been ahead by double digits for quite some time, he's been running at number 2. He's recently made news because of changes in his staff. And obviously, he's been at war with quite a few people, including Walt Disney, along with various others.
For full disclosure, Stephen A. Smith is currently employed by ESPN. He is on one of their top-rated sports shows, and a lot of different shows. He is very well known. He is really good at his craft. Regardless of what people may think of their opinions, he is a numbers grabber. He grabs the views. ESPN is a division that is owned by Walt Disney. So because it is owned by Walt Disney, I have to acknowledge there could be a bias in his perspective, right? I'm not going to assume that it is, because I don't necessarily think that he has to be biased just because he is employed by them, but it's something that we have to acknowledge. So Walt Disney does own ESPN. Some of you in the chat might actually even be, I don't know, Disney shareholders. So, we're looking for that stock to go up. But right now, actually, it can stay down. You get more shares at the cheap, right? But he may have a biased opinion, or it may be a personal opinion. I do not know. He did, in fact, state that his views, his opinions about what he's about to say now is not a view and opinion of his bosses. This particular YouTube channel is owned by him, controlled by him. So I just want to be clear. He did state that. He did offer that disclosure. So I just want to acknowledge that. Y'all can say he biased. He might be.
As the noted conservative commentator George Will recently said about Ron DeSantis, every time you turn around, he's in a fight with somebody over something. And recently he got into beef with African Americans because he wanted to revamp what African Americans and what students in public schools were being taught as it pertains to African American history.
So, as you guys know, Governor DeSantis has been very outspoken about the type of curriculum that he wants going on in his particular state, and he's passed laws on the no woke culture. Remember, the no woke culture, he took a direct attack on Disney himself because of their position on the no woke culture, et cetera, et cetera. And so this is what he's speaking about. Obviously, Black people were outraged at him removing him removing curriculum that was pertinent or important to the Black community about biases, about what's it called? Prejudices and also privileges, right? The white privilege stuff. So there was a big back and forth issue about that, and DeSantis stood firm and he put some laws in place. Okay, so that's what he's indicating right now. Let me adjust this a little bit. There we go.
And as of recently, we just learned that Ron DeSantis, part of the things that he was pushing for, came to light, and essentially, it was about teaching folks that there were benefits that African Americans received while being enslaved. I want to preface my comments by reminding y'all of what slavery is. It's indentured servitude. It's forced labor. It's being held and imprisoned essentially against your will for the benefit of those who have enslaved you, which in the case of African Americans, Black people, would be white America. Dr. Umar Johnson, who regardless of his critique of me,
hit the cash app. So I shouldn't have said that. So let me be clear. Governor DeSantis he responded to a question that was asked about someone else that made indication that there were benefits of skills that were acquired during slavery, right? It wasn't necessarily DeSantis who outspokenly said that. DeSantis spoke about a comment that was made about that, and he responded. This comment came out, I believe he was at a conference in Utah. And as if anybody knows how it looks in Utah, it's interesting that he decided to make those comments there as opposed to anywhere else. So that's what Stephen A is getting into, just for you guys to have some insight there.
From time to time, is somebody whose knowledge and intellect I highly respect. And I respect him as my brother. I saw him on social media recently, arguing on a television network and making what I found to be a very, very profound argument that Black folks in this country are not immigrants. We didn't come here voluntarily. We were imported. And I think that's apropos when talking about this subject in regards to this governor who seemingly with every passing day reveals himself to be a disgrace to humanity. And I don't make that statement lightly. I'm a registered independent. I am not sold on a lot of things in regards to the Democratic Party, and I'm unapologetic about that. I've been outspoken about Trump, not because of his policies, but because of his behavior, because I think that the presidency is a statesmanship, a position of statesmanship, and you have to know how to act and conduct yourself. And you can't walk around scaring half the nation, if not the world. And I just don't like the way he's conducted himself, like a petulant child, and the fact that he's been lying about losing the election. And years before he lost the election, he said that he wouldn't concede defeat because he's always claiming that stuff is rigged, no matter what he's accused of.
Stephen A, Black people complain that stuff is rigged all the time. The system is rigged. Everything is rigged. Red light. Everything is rigged. So why can't he say things are rigged? I mean, look, fair is fair. Things can be rigged. It may or may not be, but he can absolutely say it. I think you've been a little tough on him. You've been a little tough on him. Be careful because he might be your next president. Sorry, that was not funny.
But Ron DeSantis clearly has wanted to rival Trump, clearly has wanted to ingratiate himself with the quote unquote MAGA Republicans out there. And he seems to be doing, or exerting strenuous effort in order to do so.
What is a MAGA Republican? What is like? How do you distinguish different Republicans like that? A MAGA Republican? Is that a new thing? Oh, Stephen A., you are very sharp with the words, my friend. I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard that somebody can be a MAGA Republican. As a matter of fact, somebody still owes me a hat. Where's Robert H? He owes me one of them hats.
And to come up with a situation, a law that was passed by a board where folks would be taught that there were benefits to being enslaved is about as egregious and as offensive as it gets. There is no excuse for this at all. There's rationale behind it, and I'll get into that in a second. But there's no excuse for somebody who wants to be the president of the United States, the president to all people, to sit up there and look at a race of people and to ever think that there's anything that you can say that would make folks believe that there were benefits to being enslaved.
I'm going to have to agree with Stephen A. here. I don't want to do it because we disagree on a lot of stuff, but he's kind of right, and I'm going to tell you why. Every time an election happens, they always use race. Now, I thought that black people was in last place. I thought black people were doing bad, but somehow, some way, they must always use the racial divide in every single election. It never fails. Every single politician somehow, some way has a past or a statement where they tried to make it seem like slavery wasn't that bad. Everybody knows me. I don't run in the Victim Olympics, right? I don't give a damn. But the truth is the truth. Stop trying to make it seem like it was okay or it was a good thing or this, that, unless you're going to stand on it. Unless you're going to say, finally, hey, black people, y'all lost. It is what it is. Y'all had to deal with the consequence. Just say that. But these politicians like to play both sides of the fence. For example, let me just say, I just want to say this. Slavery was very, very wrong. It's unexcusable. It never should have happened. And what was done to people in this country is very, very reprehensible. And this nation should be ashamed, right? They're going to say things like that. But however, I must admit that with further examination, there were some skills that were acquired during the time in which such people were in that bad condition. And then also they were fed food and they were given places to live. They go that back and forth stuff. I don't like that. You know me, I like blatant, overt people. Pick a side. And so I don't like when they do that back and forth. And so they try to make it seem like it's okay. And then they say it's wrong. They use that politician stuff. So with him, I'm with him. Stop trying to do that. I happen to agree.
Before I go any further, Ron DeSantis was on the campaign trail and he was in Utah, surrounded by a bunch of people who look like him. Certainly none of us as black people.
It's Utah.
But surrounded by others sharing his human pigmentation.
Well, Stephen A., NBA young boy is in Utah. Show a little respect. NBA young boy is a star, okay? He in there, you know what I'm saying, doing his little dance. So NBA young boy out there, he got about 12 children. So he can't get hit for that child support after 10. He on his Nick Cannon stuff. So it is some black people out in Utah, okay? Shout out to the NBA young boy. Okay, go ahead, Stephen A. Talk to us.
And when addressed and broached about the question in regards to benefits to slavery being taught in the schools of Florida, here's what Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida had to say.
What'd he say, Stephen A?
To that question.
What'd he say?
Some report.
What'd he say?
Well, you should talk to them about it. I mean, I didn't do it, and I wasn't involved in it. But I think what they're doing is I think that they're probably going to show some of the folks that eventually parlayed being a blacksmith into doing things later in life. But the reality is all of that is rooted in whatever is factual. They listed everything out. And if you have any questions about it, just ask the Department of Education. You can talk about those folks. But I mean, these were scholars who put that together. It was not anything that was done politically.
I can't argue with Ron DeSantis there, Stephen A. So you better compel. You're gonna have to compel me to what DeSantis just actually said. What he said was wrong. Spence, shout out to my brother Spence. He says, I'm trying my best not to hate people. This guy is lying about everything. Well, come on, Spence. You got listen. Carlee Russell was lying. If you missed the beginning of the show, brother, Carlee Russell been lying from the jump, and they got black women run up in here talking about free her, and she ain't even locked up yet. Free her, let sis live. So I mean, listen, and she lied to the authorities. She lied to everybody. So. I mean, a little lie here and there. Give him some grace, man. Just give him a little bit of grace. Why is he not saying black scholars came up with the curriculum? It's a really good question. Why ain't you saying that, Stephen A? Why ain't you acknowledging that black scholars came up with it? Because what I heard right now is what I indicated earlier. DeSantis is responding to a statement that was said about them acknowledging some skills that may have been acquired during those situations. He didn't actually say that himself. There is a huge difference than if he said they had acquired skills, but I could be wrong, but I believe he's responding to a statement. More information will be coming out because he's running for the president of the United States. And so fair is fair. We'll get the information. Go ahead, Stephen A. And must I say, brother, I like your tie. Stephen A. Go ahead, brother.
Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that this is the same governor that put in the law to Stop Woke Act, which prohibits workplace training or school instruction that teaches that individuals are inherently racist, sexist, or oppressive, whether consciously or subconsciously. I can understand somebody fighting that, even if they're wrong. I can even understand him fighting the notion that folks bears personal responsibility for and must feel guilt, anguish, or other forms of psychological distress over actions committed in the past by members of the same race, gender, or national origin. There's plenty of white folks that walk around and saying, I wasn't born at that time. I didn't do that. I didn't do what my ancestors did. Why y'all holding me accountable? I understand that thinking, although some would disagree rather, because of the advantages that white males have had in this country. Nevertheless, you get that. Where you should be appalled is at this part about the Stop Woke Act that Ron DeSantis signed into law.
Okay, so now Stephen A is getting to the point that he has contention with. There is something specific about the act that he signed into law that Stephen A is going to highlight and specify what thing he does not agree with. So DeSantis has every right to do what he thinks is best for the people that elected him to do so. But Stephen A said that there's something in particular that in that woke bill or law that he signed in that Stephen A finds an issue with. And so I don't remember what it was, because when I was setting my show up, he was doing this stream live. So you can see it says the live button at the bottom corner right there, because I had it waiting there while he was live. And that man had 2,500 people up in his chat, maybe 3,000. I stopped watching. So he has quite an audience there. And I do not know what he's about to break down. So we got to watch this in real time.
That people are privileged or oppressed based on race, gender, or national origin. How could you possibly deny that in the United States of America? How could you possibly deny that? Ron DeSantis just saw him on camera talking about how, you know what, maybe they're teaching them, while you were enslaved, you learned how to be a blacksmith. What do you mean learned? What did you teach black people? Black people were someplace else. Building pyramids. Other buildings. Being blacksmith. Running farms.
Okay. Yeah. I get you that.
It's amazing that now there are laws that are being put in place about what's being taught, when once upon a time, Ron DeSantis, this country, right here in this country, It was against the law for blacks to be allowed to read and write.
That's true.
You spent centuries blocking their ability to read and write. You wanted them to be ignorant and oblivious. You wanted us to be ignorant and oblivious to our own history.
It's true.
And you made it unlawful. And what would happen to people who broke the law over such things like reading and writing and what have you in the United States of America as black people? What did you do? You hung them.
Ooh.
You burned them alive. You cooked them. Flat out, cold-blooded murder. When black folks were being hung, it was like a damn town hall meeting.
Damn.
Like some family gathering or a picnic or what have you, at the expense of black lives literally being taken from us.
I agree. Fair.
Because of rules and regulations your ancestors put into place. Mr. Yale graduate who taught history after graduating from Yale. You know this. But you want folks not to ever learn about that history. You don't want that being taught in our schools.
It's ironic because I see my brother JB in the chat. When I talked about not talking about this slavery stuff no more, you was mad at me. You was mad at me. I remember I was on your show, Broken Dusty. Thank you very much for having me on your show. I truly appreciate it. I was there. I was. And I said it, and I got all kind of hell for it. All kind of hell for it. Now, to a similarity, it's not identical, but you're seeing Governor Desantis, according to Stephen A., doing a level of suppression of history, et cetera, and people applaud him for that. They cheer him for that. That is quite interesting. I will acknowledge that. That's a lot of history to bypass. That's a lot of history to not acknowledge. Who's right? Who's right, Stephen A? I'm noticing a trend, though, about people. They are more outspoken than they ever have been. I'll get into that in a second.
And if it is going to be taught in our schools, let's find the positive. Let me do as my man, my big brother, Joe Madison, the Black Eagle on Sirius XM, channel 126, 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every weekday. Let me use his phrase. Let me steal from him. Let me take it where the goats can get it. Would you do this to Jewish folks?
No, they
Would
wouldn't.
you dare sign into law? Would you dare have the Board of Education in your state do something that in any way camouflages, throw a cloth over, or completely distances the Jewish community from their history?
Huh. You know, I'm going to say something. You know, a while back ago, we have these conversations. I say, man, black people, I've been told black people have no power. Black people don't have no power. They can't be racist because they don't have anything to enforce. They have no power. But what I'm noticing is that I'm seeing a heightened level of awareness for the type of power that exists in media. Now that I do this more often, I've noticed that content creators have a level of influence in which they can craft shows, craft perspective, cut clips, navigate a conversation in which the way they want. It's all media, right? And I've been you see the Draymond Greens, the LeBron James, all of them have media companies because we understand the power of media. And so what I'm seeing is a lot more prominent black men, a lot more black men with influence really take control of the type of brassness and boldness that they have on these platforms, right? I'm kind of shocked that he said that. But I'm going to say this too. You have to give credit to Mr. West. You have to give credit to Mr. West. Mr. West jumped out of there and said, I'm going nuclear. Da, 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 da. And now, I don't know about y'all, but I've been seeing more and more black people with big audiences, large reach, starting to say names, starting to say, you wouldn't do this to these people. And they've been a lot more aggressive about it. So I'm keeping track of this. I'm noticing an uptick in people speaking about comparing about these other communities and what they've gone through. And it is quite powerful to watch people take control of the level of influence in their media. And I'm watching how it plays out because we're seeing a lot more people do this. They're getting away from just whatever area in which their strong suit is, and they're diving deep into politics. Bad or good, whatever you want to view it as, they are taking control of their level of influence, and they're taking control of media, and they're building on it. So I'm watching this play out. It is very interesting to me. I will say that I think Mr. West is to be attributed for people's braveness to start speaking like this, to start making these comparisons, to start pushing back, to start saying you wouldn't do this to these people. I do think that part is interesting. Shout out to Deborah. She says, giving up the slavery narrative reminds me of removing my 3-year-old security blanket. It's time to remove the security blanket. Deborah, if you know me, I have no problem with that. I also don't have no problem with the opposite side of people like JB saying I'm wrong. Because I'm not saying that I'm definitively right. It's my perspective. I have no problem with people like Stephen A., who's older than me, who understands a level of living in a time in which I did not live through, right? I give a little bit more understanding to people that have been here longer. I know old heads get on our nerves. I know old heads, we can't stand them sometimes, but they have a level of information, a level of experience that we cannot have until we have it. So I have to give respect to that, and that just because I think something is right doesn't mean it is. And so my perspective is my perspective. His perspective is his. He has every right to push back and fight back, and I have no issues with that, especially when you can defend your position. So you know me, rip the security blanket off. SKC says, how did slaves get free? Didn't the U.S. abolitionists and other white people make it happen? Would slaves have ever seen freedom if whites didn't allow it? It depends. It depends. I know in Haiti that they wasn't playing about their freedom. So it depends. It depends. I don't know if people have ever been enslaved forever. So it's one thing to believe that black people would have been enslaved forever. I don't believe that. I'm not saying that it would have happened sooner, but I don't believe they would have been enslaved forever. So pick, just your perspective.
Would you do that? We both know you wouldn't. We both know you wouldn't. But without getting into it too heavily, because I know I can stay on this subject for days, and I'm not going anywhere. What I would say to you, Ron DeSantis and his cabinet, his campaign and his cabinet, all of y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. You should all be ashamed of yourselves for being a part of this. For this to even be a subject that's open for debate in the year 2023 is shameful. But I know why you're doing it. I know why you're doing it, Ron DeSantis. But before I tell you why, before I tell this audience why you're doing it, what I want to do is I want to call out a colleague.
Ooh.
Somebody whose show that I've been on a couple of times, somebody who I respect.
Ricochet.
but I find myself ashamed of for him even broaching the subject in this platform. Don't even know if I'd speak to him again.
Wow.
It would happen to be Jesse Waters of Fox News.
What the hell is that?
I respect his candor. I respect his knowledge. I'm not here to disrespect him. I'm here to say, damn, how insensitive can you be?
Ooh.
What the hell am I talking about?
I don't know.
See for yourself.
Okay.
No one is arguing slaves benefited from slavery. No one is saying that. It's not true. They're teaching how black people developed skills during slavery in some instances that could be applied for their own personal benefit.
What the hell do you mean, Jesse? Nobody is teaching the benefits of slavery. What they're doing is teaching how blacks ultimately learned to trade while enslaved that ultimately benefited them down the road. Is that not double talking? Come on, Jesse, you better than that, bro. You better than that. And I'm not coming on Fox News to talk to you about this. You said it on your platform, I'm going to say it on mine. Come on, bro. It's the same thing. Nobody is teaching the benefits of slavery. They're simply teaching how you acquired this skill while enslaved that ultimately benefited you later on down the road. Really? Why even try to find a positive out of something so egregious, something so insidious, where millions of lives were lost? Our ancestors jumped into the ocean, maybe shark-infested waters, just to avoid being enslaved. Murders, rape, maiming, torture, all of these things happen. Why are we talking about a subject like that and saying, let's highlight some of the benefits? Why? Why? Why would you do that? Could it be because you're not black and you have no idea of the historical, subliminal, emotional, spiritual, soulful impact it's had on a race of people? Why even bring it up? Why are we talking about this? I'll tell you why. You know, a few months ago, I was on this show, right here on my show. And I made it a point to point out how the white population in America is dissipating before our very eyes. That's why you see Trump appealing to his base. That's why you see Desantis trying to appeal to that base, because they understand that the white population wants 87%, wants 84%, wants 80%, then 79%. Now it's all the way down to 58.9%, according to the last numbers that I saw. Black population still hovering around 13%. Hispanic population is elevating over 19% and projected to be at about 30% by the year 2030. So as the white populace dwindles, you've got folks worried about maintaining political control. And they're using the American people as pawns to pull off your agenda.
They always do that.
I told y'all DeSantis taught history.
Oh, it's true.
He knows better. But you know what this is also about? In my humble opinion, the governor of Florida wants to blunt the negative effects of slavery so he can relieve a younger generation of possible guilt. Because you see, that guilt is what led to folks in droves going to support Obama in 2008. And then again in 2012. That guilt assisted in Clinton becoming the president in 92 and then again in 96.
Okay.
And obviously the numbers are a bit more challenging in this day and age. So what do you want to do? You want to make sure you maintain political control. And how do you do that? By pointing out We're tired of being blamed and reminded of what we've done. So let's just make sure the minds on the come up don't adopt the same mentality. It's the curriculum, y'all. You can't keep black folks out. So what do? You alter the subject matter. You start throwing question marks in there to assuage the concerns of a race of people that have felt pigeonholed and marginalized. And in the process of doing all of that, you know what you also do? You deny the truth. You gloss over it. Because far be it for you to look in the mirror and stare at yourself and fully embrace the iniquities of your actions.
Woo. You got me thinking.
It also flies in the face of Brown versus Board of Education, 1954. Don't y'all remember that? The elimination of separate but equal. Y'all remember that? Joe Madison said this morning, Ron DeSantis is the modern day George Wallace. Segregation now, segregation tomorrow, segregation forever. Showing up to block a school for a couple of African-American students that were going to desegregate school. They attacked education.
Oh, wow.
What is DeSantis doing? Don't say gay. Stop woke act. This stuff. And people are falling for it hook, line, and sinker.
I'm going to acknowledge it's not often that someone gets me to think. Not like that. Wow. He actually makes a lot of good points. JJ, I know JJ. I know. He's not on the point that you're on, but when you're speaking to the white or the guilt aspect, it really got my brain really running. Got my brain running. It really does have my brain running. Shout out to Grizz. He says, I got my Fiji water right now. Let me drop some money. Shout out to the gang. We appreciate you always.
Gang.
I think Stephen A is making a really good point. I'm not going to lie. And I'm going to have to acknowledge that. Shout out to Dave. He says, DeSantis wants to give whites a security blanket. I'm not sure what his strategy actually is. Any black person who was enslaved would have easily learned a lot more as a free person, obviously. So there was only detriment. I do believe that there was clearly a level of concerted efforts to stop the advancement of people if you ban their ability to read. That's gang. So shout out to Grizz. He says, Aaron, what's your thoughts on the hypocrisy of white people to receive influence in their politics from their grandparents 2 generations ago to tell black people those grandparents were legally discriminated? It's an irrational fear. At this point, it's all politics. It's all control. At this point, it's irrational. Everybody's going to try to weaponize a base. Everybody's going to try to control what they control. But I want to harken back. But shout out to you, Grizz. I appreciate it. We could chop it up more in depthly at a different time. But when Stephen A talks about guilt, it really wakes my eyes up. I really didn't think about it too much because I'm not into crybabies and I'm not into the victim Olympics. But I do believe this guilt was really working on a lot of people. And a lot of people say, why shouldn't they feel guilty? Why shouldn't we get something? They should be guilty. And I'm always like, nah, but they didn't do nothing. But I got to admit, I have got to admit, the guilt had people in the streets, had them talking about let's take these statues down. Because the guilt got people, it got a lot of young people not viewing it the same ways as their grandparents and great grandparents did, because they are ashamed. At some point, I don't know what the balance is. I do not know what the balance is meaning, right? This is the meaning. You have to pay for the sins of your forefathers. I don't know what that balance is, because I admit, if you leave an inheritance for your grandkids and your children's children, there is an advantage there, but that you earned to a certain degree. But there was a time where it wasn't fair playing field. So the guilt aspect is something that maybe is something that's needed. I do not know. But the way Stephen A. put it made a lot of sense, actually. You're trying to bring these younger people to not feel guilty anymore, so they're back on your side instead of rectifying. So you're seeing an effort to pay these reparations now. There's a lot going on here. And we're going to probably have to break that down in a different show. What I do believe is this. Nah, Aaron, you are into crybabies. You guys cry about how women are to blame for a problem. Same thing. Who cries about why women are to blame for problems that they're not culpable for? Only time somebody cries about women being blamed for the problem is when women should be blamed for their problems, especially if you're talking about me. You're entitled to your opinion, but you're wrong. I don't deal with crybabies. You're wrong. Now, I might babysit them on my other show, but I don't deal with crybabies. You're confused. I'm going to really have to sit back and think about this very in-depthly, because I do believe that there is something to this guilt aspect of why we're starting to see some changes, and the changes is in young people. Young people aren't as racist as their grandparents. There's more interracial dating with younger people. I'm not saying that you guys should advocate for that. What I'm saying is that the guilt there is what's positioning at more allies. So it's really interesting when you really, really sit back and think about how Desantis is trying to alleviate guilt from people. David says, guilt is what is needed to motivate one to do the right thing now. If you can't do it any other way, so be it. I'm with you. I'm actually, David, I understand that. I agree. Like, I'm not going to beg for no reparations, but I'm going to be in California to get them reparations. You heard? I do believe that there is a case to be made for reparations. I'm not going to be the leader of it. I'm not going to champion it. I'm not going to be the advocator of it, because I believe that you should be able to operate it without it. It is what it is. We got to deal with what we got to deal with. But I do actually, if you take the comparison of, and shout out to David, I appreciate you supporting the show, fam. If you take what Stephen A. said and what you see DeSantis doing, and you objectively accept, it's fair that he is trying to say these kids shouldn't feel guilty for it. So what that means is this: I believe you have to take the good with the bad. I'm consistent with that, right? If your great grandparents left you homes and houses and all this stuff when other people couldn't get it, you're benefiting. You're benefiting. When they have more resources because they had them longer and the laws was in them, you're benefiting. So you got to take the good with the bad. If you got to take some guilt for that, you got to take some guilt for that. It's up to you, but you got to take some guilt for that. It's within reason. DeSantis is trying to remove that guilt to strengthen the base, which actually makes a lot of sense. If you remove guilt, then you don't feel bad as for Black people. You're not necessarily going to vote in their interest because you think that they're on even ground. So we're going to have to break this down. I'm going to look a lot into that. Shout out to Stephen A. for making me think a little bit. I appreciate that. You said a lot of wrong stuff that I don't agree with, but the guilt part, when you break it down and I think about it objectively, is a fair point when you compare it to what DeSantis is doing and his active base and the children that they have and what they need going on in the future. Justin says, my white grandparents talk about their guilt all the time and their shame of thinking Reagan was the best president. They're overly progressive now. yeah, I must say I'm a little swayed about this guilt stuff right now because I am an objective person. I do not believe everything I think is correct. I believe in listening to people and being open-minded to the fact that it's a possibility the way I think is incorrect. So I'm going to revisit this guilt thing in the future because now I'm starting to think that this guilt thing, it may have not been meant for the people at first, but as it starts to simmer down to the younger kids and they say, no, mom, this is wrong. And they fight back again, because wrong is wrong, no matter who's committing it. It's really interesting. Man. Shout out to everybody that supported the show today. Shout out to Team Fatty for being a sponsor of the show. What I'm going to do more often, and you guys let me know if this is something you guys are interested in, is I'm going to be running these shows primarily myself. I will still do open panels sometimes, but I find that people do come here for more of my thoughts, and I have not been able to craft and critique it to the people as much as I should. I also know that you guys do come here for conversations, and so what I will do, and you guys let me know your opinion about it, you can leave it in the comment section. I review comments. If you believe that what I did today is having one person on at a time to have a discourse, what I'm trying to do is I'm going to allow women and men to have a level of anonymity, right? I'm still going to be the brave soldier that I am, but I'm going to find ways to allow people to have a perspective because there is CC, there's two CCs, right? CC from the UK, who's been dying to come on my show, and I would love to have a Discord with her one day, and so I'm going to try to find ways to implement that. I will still have panels because I love the open conversations, but I'm going to critique shows like this more often as it allows me to express my thoughts, my views, and it's going to be more of me. It is what it is. I have to adjust that. I have to make sure that I'm giving you guys my perspective and not letting people overshadow me more because I am very fair with trying to allow other people to get their thoughts out. But it does take a toll away from the show. And I think this may be a better format for y'all as I'm shifting to different type of content. And also I'm going to be shifting to other things that I know Grizz has been on my head about. Trust me, brother, I'm working on it. You have no idea how big my plate is, bro. So much stuff that's going on. But I appreciate you guys. There will be no panel today. I appreciate you guys for joining into the show. My people, please, please, please. I was supposed to go on the Q show last Monday, but I actually told the Simp God that I will go on B Taylor's show first. So I had to go there first. And then you know what happened. So thank you guys for tuning in to the Aaron O Show. I will see you guys on the next episode. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comments. Either way,